Here we go. And we live and direct. Players' choice in your ears and your eyeballs. Yo, look at Elder Rufus, man. Out living the dream. Vacation mode. And he's still here to join Players' Choice.
Put their work
dedication, man. We got the best supporters in the game, man. Best family and friends, best PC, best chat, best everything, man. Best Discord. JD, we definitely don't have the best host though, because you haven't plugged the Discord in a while. So
wow, we're 30 seconds in and I'm already getting killed up here.
30 seconds in, you mean 10 minutes and 30 seconds.
I might as well say like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, man. Since we're here, since Euro's already picking on me, I was actually going to pick on Elder Rufus, and then now I'm getting picked on. This is crazy. No, shout out to y'all, man. I know we haven't plugged the Discord in a minute, but bro, that thing just stays popping. There's like 1,900 of you guys in the Discord talking 24/7. I am like in there maybe once a week for like a couple minutes, just scrolling through to see what's going on in there, but I cannot keep up anymore. You guys are like insane, man. The community is so strong. We appreciate all y'all. Also, the Reddit, we have a subreddit. I think we started that like a week ago. So if you have not joined that, there's a link in the description below. Make sure you do that. All right. Elder Rufus.
Yes, sir.
Last week, so last Tuesday, Elder Rufus was on the panel. And I saw a clip from that show. It was a start bench cut, actually. And it was Coach Pop, Phil Jackson, and Steve Kerr. Elder Rufus.
Yes, sir.
You benched Coach Pop.
No, I didn't.
Or sorry, you cut Coach Pop and you benched Kerr. So you have Kerr over Pop.
I didn't.
Why? That's crazy.
Elaborate. Look at Mars. He's like,
here's the
good.
Here's the thing. Some people maybe watch Players' Choice, don't watch the panel, or maybe didn't catch that episode. So this might be repetitive to some of you, but the floor is yours, Elder Rufus.
Again, it's a simple opinion. I did say, and I'm glad the way y'all chopped it up. Y'all didn't beat me to shreds, so it came out pretty good the way you chopped it up on the short. So I appreciate that. I did preface it by saying I'm not a Pop fan. I'm a Laker guy, so I'm not a Pop fan. But when you look at the brass tacks of it, it's a legitimate take for the simple fact all of them have been extremely successful. Kerr has been very successful in a short period of time. All of them have had superstars. I mean, Pop coached 5 big-time Hall of Famers. So he's on the same level as Kerr, same level as Phil Jackson. But I think what Kerr, multiple winning, won more in a much shorter period of time. Kerr seems to me to be more innovative. He seems to be more adjustable. Pop is kind of, hey, this is how it is. You fit this or I'm going to move you. And that's why I gave the advantage to Kerr. He did more in less time. He's won multiple, like repeated. Pop never did that. Phil, of course, is the king of repeat. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I had him first. That's why I had Kerr second. That's why I got rid of Pop. I personally think that the run they had, it's
Yo, that might have just saved our viewers' ears. Yo, I had to let him go, chat. I couldn't just cut him off because like he was really in his bag. I'm sorry that it was a little popcorn microphone sounding, but that was fire. Hopefully he could come back and he's like I said,
got a question.
Like I said, man, he's out there in a desolate area, I think. So his connection's probably a little poor. So we could give him a break, y'all. But Euro actually pointed out again, El Host up here. We have a brand new guest on Players' Choice. This is his first appearance on Players' Choice. Aaron, welcome to Players' Choice, bro. How are you, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir. Before the show started, we briefly talked, but how long have you been watching Players' Choice?
Like 2-3 months, I think.
Yeah, and you told me, you said you might have caught like a short or something, but you said that the long form content is
it's way better. Way better.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That is heat. Yeah, we were talking before the show. And it's funny because our short form content is really what gets people in the door, but it also really pisses people off. He's doing his crazy.
Yeah, man, handsome men, what can we do?
That's what I'm saying. But it really upsets people. And then they come here for the long form content. And we've seen this so many times where the people who only have seen the short form stuff, they join and, actually listen to the debates and discussion that goes on for longer than 30 seconds. Like, oh, okay, well, I thought that they were crazy, but it's actually not as crazy as I thought. Elder Rufus, are you back with us? Oh, are you muted? So we're just gonna have to read his lips today, chat. I think you're muted, bro. I think you might have muted yourself on the computer or something. That's crazy. I have no idea what's going on. And I wish I knew how to solve it, because over here on the software, it doesn't say that he's muted. So I have no idea what's going on.
To everybody in the chat, you're right. I'm already winning the show, and all I'm doing is eating. So Jay did say that he doesn't want me talking while eating. So I'm gonna shut the fuck up right now. And then once I
do it right now, do it right now.
Shut the fuck up.
Yes.
No, don't get
right now.
Right now.
Right now.
You know
right
what?
Right now.
Here, we'll mute him.
What are we doing? Jay, we're not doing that, okay?
What are we doing?
I abided by your rules, and your man, you're over here. He's mad. He's still tight, and he wants to have this sparring battle. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, Euro. Don't worry. It's gonna happen. We're gonna have this sparring battle, and your ass is grass. Remember that. I'll go back to eating my food.
Your ass is grass. All right, Elder Rufus. Let's see if we fixed it.
Can y'all hear?
Are you with? There we go.
Yeah.
I just went out. I went outside. I think I'm getting a little better reception out here. I'm outside now.
Well, I will say your audio is significantly better, and that's probably the most important thing. You are a little glitchy on the video, but you know what? We're going to take what we could get at this point. I don't even remember where we ended, but if you remember and you want to finish that, feel free. Otherwise, we could move on.
I was just giving the points to where Pop. I thought it was more of just a consistency thing with Pop, because the team was very good for so long, but when it came to the championships, I thought Kerr and I thought Field did that better in short period of time than he did. The repeating is hard. The three-peating is just about impossible to do. So that's what puts Field number one. But Kerr's even repeated. Pop's never done that. He's never done it. And Kerr dominated over a 7-year period. He had 4 championships. So, and I just like Kerr's style better. I think he works better with more players than Pop. Pop has to have a certain player. And if you don't fit, he don't want you. So, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just they're all successful. I just like those two guys and appreciate what they did more than what Pop did. So that's why I went, start Field, Biggs, Kerr, cut Pop.
You know what's crazy? And I feel I'm like upset at myself, but bro, that wasn't bad reasoning. Like I could get on that train, And that feels nasty saying, because Coach Pop is a legend.
It's not disrespectful, though. I mean, he's not the only.
No,
legend,
for sure.
Though. Yeah.
To me, it just sounds like a preference in coaching style, though.
You said what?
To me, that just sounds like a preference in coaching style, because obviously, nothing's wrong with Pop's coaching, nothing's wrong with Steve Kerr's coaching. When you're talking about the adjustments that Steve Kerr is able to make, I can say, you know what, I appreciate the style in the sense, of Pop, in the sense that like he has put a signature on the game the way that Steve Kerr hasn't, because Steve Kerr is more so reliant on having all of these, mega stars and all of these players. I think the big time names that Steve Kerr has had are bigger than what Pop has had, right?
Really?
We talking about, KD and Steph. I think they're bigger than Tim Duncan and David Robinson, or who else?
David Robinson?
Yeah, Tim Duncan and David Robinson is what I'm saying, yeah.
Kawhi Leonard?
And at the same time, okay, I mean, maybe Kawhi, he was a puppy, you know what I mean? And so he kind of like came into his own and everybody started paying attention to him when he won the finals MVP. But we can't act like everybody was like, yo, who is this winning finals MVP? And that is also the reason why people are saying anybody wins finals MVP. The fact that Kawhi turned out to be whoever he is now is, is just favoring him or whatever. But I think, everybody's saying, oh, Andre Iguodala won finals MVP. And so when it comes to the Steve Kerr, with the Steph Curry KD thing versus Tim Duncan and David Robinson, both of those guys were in the prime. David Robinson was already on the decline when it comes to him playing together with Tim Duncan. And Tim Duncan, of course, he came into the league killing or whatever, but he wasn't where he eventually would end up, when it comes to his prime type of stuff. So I don't think Pop has had the same type of weaponry that Kerr has had, in my opinion.
Okay. That's fair, I guess. I would disagree because I think he has. He's got a top 5 player all time, in my opinion, in Duncan, the best power forward to ever play the game, and that was the meat of his success. No Duncan, no success. The other guys, they've won with multiple guys too.
Kerr, greatest shooter ever, not top 5, greatest shooter ever. And
I get it.
For a long time, they was talking about Klay, and I'm not trying to say like Klay, because everybody. Now people are saying it's like, okay, he wasn't really like that or whatever, for whatever reason, recency bias or whatever. But at the time, everybody was saying that these two undoubtedly are top 2 shooters of all time. So when you're talking about Tim Duncan being top 5 power forward of all time, people are saying
top
Klay,
5
top 5 shooter.
Of all time.
Okay.
I have,
but still, you know what I mean? If you are in the shooting system, a top 5 shooter of all time, like that's just as much value. And then you have 2 of them. And not only do you have 2 of them at 4 and 5 or whatever, you could say Klay is 5th. I don't really care because you do have the number 1 shooter.
Mm-hmm.
So like that, I don't see how that is worse than having Tim Duncan and whatever else the Spurs may have.
I only had 3 options. He could have been the 7th man coming off the bench, but I didn't have it as an option. So when I had those 3 as an option, if I had to choose, I like what Steve Kerr did more than I like what Pop did. Now, to me, Pop's, again, is more of a longevity thing because they had a sustainedness of greatness. What was it, 50 wins or whatever it was, all the playoffs he was doing for 15, 20 years. That's more what I give Pop credit for. Now, it's 5 chips. They're great. But there's a lot of coaches that's got 5 chips. He's not the only one.
So we're just going to have to wait and see how, what Steve Kerr's longevity is going to look like.
Yes, because Pop is about done. We know Pop's run is about over. I don't see him getting any more. I don't know if it's a record he's going after, most wins, whatever it may be, but his run is about over. So we'll have to see how Steve Kerr, and I gave Steve Kerr props for winning this past year because everybody said, oh, well, KD this, KD that. That's one reason, blah, blah, blah. He came back and showed they won without KD. So he won before him. When it's almost like people forgot that. It's like people forgot the fact they won before KD came. Then they won with KD when he clearly, to me, still had Steph and Draymond as the leaders. It wasn't just KD. He just came and balled out. And then when they won afterward, that put another notch on his resume as a coach, in my personal opinion. So, and again, it is partly a preference. I do think, like, as a player, if I had to pick which one of those coaches I think I would want to play for, it would be in that same order. I would want to play for Phil first. I would want to play for Kerr second and Pop last. Pop might have made me pop him. You know what I mean? He might have made me pop him. The way he come in your face and talk crazy, I'm not with all that. I'm not with all that.
I'm not with that either.
I don't know, man. I mean, if we're talking about who would you rather play for, I would rather play for Kerr because I'm not trying to be in that triangle. Number 1.
I don't mind a triangle. If it's my game, I don't mind a triangle at all.
So if we're talking about, like, I'm talking about me and, like, how I would prefer to play, I would cut Phil just based off of that.
Okay.
Elder Rufus, we're getting the popcorn again. Did you say that you might have had a mic somewhere?
I got an earpiece. I don't have a mic.
We might as well try it because we're back to the popcorn stuff, and
okay.
We'll try whatever we can. But we'll before we move on, Aaron, Mars, do you guys have a horse in this race, or?
I mean, I said on the panel, I'm starting Pop, bench and Phil, cutting Kerr, but Steve Kerr. I don't think Steve Kerr is in that tier of coaches yet, but that was the start bench cut. But I think there's still a few coaches I'd name before I'd name Steve Kerr. But he's still one of the best coaches in the NBA today, but he's not an all-time to those guys' level, in my opinion.
You said Pop, Phil, Kerr, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's mine as well. I look at Pop, and we've talked about this so many times now on Player's Choice, but Pop did more with less, in my opinion. But Aaron, you got an opinion on this?
I mean, I like Pop. I'd probably put Pop first. He played with he won with 3 different teams basically, and 3 different styles. Everyone thinks it's the same style, but like he won with Tim Duncan and David Robinson as like the 2 big men, and then in 2007 it was mostly Duncan with like defense, and then I mean those Spurs in like 14, 15, 16, 17 were nasty, and that was shooting. Like they destroyed the Heat because of 3-point shooting and like ball movement and it basically doing what Kerr was doing before like the Warriors did it. They just didn't have Steph. And they with Kawhi still they were like so good. Like they were conference finals, right? If Kawhi didn't get injured, they probably could have won that year. So I mean, I don't know, but I don't really know that much about Phil's like. I mean, I know the triangle, but he had some of the best players of all time. So it's just hard for me to even.
Phil was more of a player.
He also had one of the best assistants in Tex. Let's not forget that.
Someone commented, said Phil just managed egos. He literally ran the exact same strategy with all his championship teams. I wanted that first part where, that's why I was going to say, I think what all 3 of them, they have amazing ability of managing egos. Like you don't really see guys playing for those coaches that have where they can't get their egos in check, if that makes sense. Like you could, how do I explain this? Like there might be guys on those teams that have egos, but the ego doesn't get in the way of the team's success. Does that make sense?
So what's Draymond Green been doing?
I mean, Draymond Green did run KD out of town.
Draymond Green got KD out by calling him a bitch. He punched Jordan Poole in the face. And the best he's got is a 1-game suspension for all of that.
And they still won the championship last year.
I think Steve Kerr
also limited our success in 2020 because KD was gone. And in 2021
and 2015, right?
Gone.
Right when
2016, Draymond Green got suspended because he couldn't handle his emotions. Like there's a lot of issues we've had where you could argue we've lost championships because Draymond Green couldn't handle his emotions. And if we're talking about handling egos,
Steve Kerr hasn't handled egos at all. The biggest ego he's had is Draymond Green. Steph don't have an ego. Klay don't have an ego. KD don't even have an ego. The biggest ego he's ever had to deal with Draymond Green. So that whole ego, him handling players, doesn't work when he's playing with guys that's easy as hell to get along with.
Well, how do you know that guys that aren't like at the end of the bench don't have egos? How do you know?
Oh my God!
I'm being serious. There's just because they're not the face of the team doesn't mean
maybe they do. Maybe they do, but maybe they don't. So the one guy we know who has an ego.
I had an ego. I played like 2 minutes a game.
Iggy, come on, bro. Iggy showed he didn't have an ego when he allowed himself to get put on the bench.
No one said that he did. What do you?
You're talking about bench players having egos, like, bro.
And you say one player. You don't know
Sean
who has egos and who doesn't. And
you think Sean Livingston?
I don't know, Dub.
Are you serious?
Saying one player.
That's 2. I just named you 2.
Congratulations.
What are we doing?
For how many years in every single player that's played under him?
Yeah, but
bro,
who off the bench is always talk about who we don't know has an ego, but who we do know has an ego is Draymond Green.
Yeah,
and what we do know is Draymond Green's ego has cost the Warriors many times. So I could argue Steve Kerr's ego management, if that's a thing, hasn't been great because the one player we know who has an ego hasn't been managed very well, in my opinion. Whereas with Popovich,
he won 4 chips with
Popovich just
that's what. Thank you.
He won 4 chips with him.
We could have won in 2016. We could have won in 2016 if he managed it.
But he won.
And we could have won in 2020.
He won 4 chips with the dude.
He won 4 chips with the dude, but he wasn't the best player.
And you can always win more.
No. I'm going to the argument that he didn't manage his ego well. He won all 4 of his chips with this same guy that has an ego problem.
And he could have won 5 and he could have won 6, but he didn't manage it correctly.
Wow. Don't you credit that?
Doesn't mean he wasn't successful, but it doesn't understand that successful.
Wouldn't you just credit that to Steph Curry and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry in general and the team just being better in order for them to overcome an ego like Draymond Green? I mean, let's be real. They did lose in 2016 mainly because Draymond Green, he couldn't control his emotions. Nobody controls Draymond Green on that. Nobody controls Draymond Green there.
Them. I don't know that cost them.
I think it did.
Important. It was just as important that they lost the center, the Australian dude. They lost him, and they lost all their rim protection.
Yeah. I agree with that, but
he was just as important of a loss. Draymond missed one game. I don't understand that thinking.
But the way that everyone's trying to credit Steve Kerr and him handling egos, the one ego where he's supposed to control, he didn't really do a good job of doing that, is what we're saying. Draymond Green, nobody tells him in that Warriors organization shit. There's a reason, and KD and Draymond Green, whenever that shit went down, they didn't do anything about it. And KD even said it.
Draymond was told to apologize, and he laughed at the management. He laughed at them. That's not managing egos. That's clearly undermining authority.
That's crazy.
I think both are correct. You know, I guess if you can look at it like that, right? So Steve Kerr obviously managed Draymond the best way that he could be managed, which, you know, is turning out to be an unmanageable situation. And he still was able to get 4 chips out of that. Could he have gotten more? I believe so. And to Mars's point, you know, we can point at a specific play that Draymond was involved in that pretty much cost him the championship, right? Or at least a chance, like a legit chance to win it. So I see both points. Well, my question is, though, Mars, are you off Draymond?
No. I still believe Draymond Green's been our second most important player for this run, but I just don't think if we're talking about ego.
No, I mean, that's past. I'm talking about moving forward.
No, I'm not off Draymond. I still think this season he's been our second or third best player. Him or Wiggins, I don't know.
So Phil did a bad job managing egos in 04 too, right?
Yeah, Phil was. It was pretty evident he had a problem with Kobe Bryant, and he wanted the team to decide between him and Kobe. It was pretty evident that he had a problem with Kobe. He wanted to keep Shaq and not Kobe. He also had the same issues. Popovich is notorious for not wanting to keep guys who think they're bigger than the team. So they all have issues managing egos. I just don't know why it was a topic of discussion.
I just like the fact that these guys like Phil and what's the name can manage it and still win with these kind of guys.
Well,
not dealing with that.
Phil managed Dennis Rodman, but Popovich couldn't.
He managed Michael Jordan. He managed Scottie Pippen. He managed all these dudes. He managed Shaq. He managed Kobe. I mean, these are major egos.
Yeah, but yet now we're talking about how many can you juggle at the same time, Pause, because if you only have Michael Jordan, right, and Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, that's 3 guys as opposed to, everybody else like a Scotty Burrell, Ron Harper and whoever, who are there solely to just, and this is what, the interview that I did with Craig Hodges, shout out again, We're Not the Same. Go ahead, check that out. But he was talking about how, he had, of course, an ego as well. Everybody had an ego. If I'm playing, if I'm on the court, I'm going to contribute. I'm not going to defer to Michael. If I have an open shot, I'm going to shoot that thing. As opposed to what Phil wanted to do. He was like, yo, man, this is the triangle. Like, we're going to run this way or whatever. And so now, you're going to have to, whatever, touches that you had, they're going to come down and you're going to have to, funnel all of that to Mike and whoever else. And so if he had been like, I'm not doing that, then it would have been a bigger issue. And so to me, what Phil, when it comes to like managing egos or even like, Steve Kerr, right? There are more egos that he has to manage than a Pop, for example, because to Mars's point, Pop is not dealing with anybody who thinks that's bigger than the team. And so there's no egos to handle for real.
And another point I do want to address is that I think Greg Popovich, you could argue that he has actually adjusted more in his career than Steve Kerr. I mean, every time when he won a chip, it was a lot of the times it was a different roster. Him leaning on David Robinson and Tim Duncan. Then in 03 with a rookie Manu and then a young Tony Parker and Tim Duncan really being the main guy. All the way to 2014 where those guys were deteriorating and not the same, and he was able to adapt to a more team-oriented type of basketball play, which led to their victory. I could just sit here and argue that he's adjusted more. He's a guy that's figured it out more and did it longer than Steve Kerr, with a lesser supporting cast of a Steve Kerr than, KD, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green.
I just disagree totally with the lesser roster, lesser players. They had a stacked roster in my opinion.
2014?
They were so good so long. They were good long. They had good players.
2014 is by far the weakest roster out of maybe 2021. Maybe.
Okay.
We're talking about
Right.
Warriors.
I did not mean for
Yeah.
that topic to go that long, but here we are. All right, transitioning into Kyrie Irving. Yesterday, if you watch the panel, I think they started the show with this, but Shams tweeted out yesterday, sources, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver and Kyrie Irving met this morning and the sides had a productive and understanding visit, paving the way for the Nets and their suspended star to work through his steps on a potential path forward. So hopefully positive outcomes from that. And from last episode, Aaron commented on our last episode and offered to share his perspective on the Kyrie situation. So I want to get into that. Let Aaron share his perspective, and the floor is yours, sir.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I mean, I'd rather like be on here talking basketball. So, I mean, it's kind of unfortunate, that this all happened. And, I like this show because of the basketball talk. But yeah, just like on the last episode, someone came on talking about, like he was talking about something about like Jewish people and owning his house or his rent or like his apartment building and shit like that. And I just wanted to like talk about like when you say things like that, like what you probably don't even mean you're saying, but like what that, like what the effects of that are. I mean, in terms of Kyrie, like Kyrie can say and do whatever he wants, right? Like we're in America, it's free country. He can post whatever he wants too, but he works for the NBA. So the NBA also can discipline him if they think what he said or did was wrong. And I honestly don't think Kyrie's like a bad person or an ill-intentioned person. I just think he's like kind of lost, like really wants to know who he is really introspective, but like went down this YouTube and like internet rabbit hole where he found this documentary, probably didn't watch all of it, I'm guessing, and just posted up this about, like, because he wants to know. I mean, I'm pretty sure Kyrie just wants to know more about like who he is and where he comes from. But the problem is when you like promote a documentary that says like the Holocaust isn't real, because that's in the documentary, that there's like a conspiracy of Jews taking over the media. When you say things like, Jews aren't real Jews, they're trying to like steal Judaism from like Black people. It's not that, like, I don't care that people have those beliefs, but and Kyrie like has a platform and it's big, and when you promote something or even draw people to something to watch it, it's not even about the beliefs or Jewish or Black, or it doesn't matter. But when you talk about stereotypes like this, all it does is cause division, because if you're another person, if I can see you as another person, then it's much easier for me to like hate you, and then see you as another. It's like very easy to dehumanize people, and that's why like there's a lot of tension. So especially if you're saying like, Jews are like, if there's like a world conspiracy of Jews and like that's why they're in positions of power, of course you're gonna like other them, because especially if you like never met a Jewish person in your life or never interacted with a Jewish person in your life, like it's very easy to be like, fuck these people, like they're stealing from us, they're stealing our identity, it causes animosity, and then you have tension, and like that's never amazing. So it's just like I don't think Kyrie did anything particularly horrible. I just think he did something like not that ignorant, and probably the reason the Nets suspended him is because he didn't just come out and say it initially, and they're like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, just say it. It's not that hard to apologize. And all he had to do was say, hey man, I didn't really watch it and I didn't really realize that there's anti-Semitic stuff in it, and like I apologize for putting it up. I wanted to learn more about my own history, and there's nothing wrong with him wanting to learn about like his own history. If he had said that, I think it would have been fine. I think the Nets ownership just got tired of him like causing this big controversy, and they were just like, I'm tired of this, we're going to suspend you. Yeah, I mean, I think that's it.
Do you think that they're, because you said that they're tired, do you think that they're tired of him, not just for that, but they're using that to
yeah, for sure. I mean, the flat earth stuff was like not great, like the vaccine, and they're probably tired of the vaccine stuff. I mean, they're paying him a lot of money to play basketball, and he's like not playing that much basketball, and he's causing controversy for like drawing negative attention instead of being a great. I think they're just tired of dealing with it, honestly.
So
I mean, for everybody, like the risk outweighs the reward.
I think
it's everything.
I think this is a propaganda setup to try to diminish Kyrie Irving and his image. Kyrie Irving, we want to talk about basketball terms about Kyrie Irving. I wouldn't say he's the most outstanding guy, but you can't argue that Kyrie Irving is one of the greatest people that has ever played basketball.
I'm saying, look, I'm saying he does like a lot of good things for. I know he does a lot of good things for.
Oh, I'm not saying you didn't. I'm not saying you didn't.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. You're just trying to clarify that you don't want to have this stereotype because you're Jewish, right?
Yeah, I'm Jewish. But
you
again,
don't want to have this stereotype.
Jews are like Judaism is a religion, and I'm not religious. But Judaism is also a race. Like I'm 100% Jewish. Like if you look at me genetically, 100% Jewish, and you can track that back to. I mean, if you really want to go into it, there are like two types of Jews. They're like Ashkenazi Jews from Europe and Sephardic Jews from the Middle East and from Africa and everything like that. I'm 100% Ashkenazi Jew, so from like Poland, that area.
I think this is a perfect time for everyone to get more educated on the religion itself.
Yeah, 100%.
I do agree with you to a stance where I don't think that type of stereotype should be labeled on the Jewish community because I don't think that's true. I do think though that there is things lost in the history books. Me, in my personal opinion, I do think that Black people were the first people of the planet. So in turn, Black people were the first Jews. So
that's different. That's different though, because then everybody is Black. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not really a good argument for me because everybody came from Mesopotamia, like 100%. It's proven scientifically. But then people, you know, they moved to different places. Like, of course, the first people were Black. Like, you know, if you go far enough, back enough, everyone's Black. But so you know, like they moved, and the people from that region are different enough where the origin, you know, they're from Israel, and that's not Africa. It's the Middle East. So like, you know, it's like a different.
I see what you're saying. The point what I'm saying is that Kyrie Irving and what he was trying to do was he was trying to shed light on the information that, you know, we as Black people should be more informed about our history and what happened in the past. In my opinion,
I think he just made a mistake.
I think so too.
Documentary. He should have picked a fucking different documentary. You know?
Let me finish my point though. So I think Kyrie Irving, I do agree with you to an extent where he probably didn't do the homework and see if there's any anti-Semitic views, and I understand that. But I think there's a bigger issue at large here. I think that this is an opportunity for Kyrie Irving is a guy who's known to speak out against the norm, think outside the box, and he's a guy that is trying to shed light on the information. And one of those is the secret societies of America, the elites of the elites. I personally believe that there's secret societies in this world. And now this is a perfect guy to Kyrie Irving, a guy who's a good citizen, who's an outstanding human being, who does nothing but preach love and caring to one another. This is a perfect opportunity for them to diminish his image so that people will not listen to him anymore. Because he's a guy that thinks outside the box. He's a guy that doesn't think within the confines of what the social norms are. And this is a perfect opportunity where this is how strategic that they fucking work. What they're going to do is they're going to connect Kyrie Irving to something of extreme negative value, like anti-Semitism. And us as human beings are are visual creatures. So when we see Kyrie Irving and something in that negative light, in our unconscious mind are going to start viewing Kyrie and his name in a negative light. And that's what they're doing to Kyrie Irving. This is more about trying to diminish him and his image rather than what he was doing. It's easy to understand where he was coming from. You even understand where he was coming from. He did not come from a place of hate. He did not come from a place of harm. But what are they doing? They want to ruin this guy's image. Because of what? Because he is a guy who thinks outside the box, and he is a guy that goes against the norms and wants to shed light about the secret societies of America, secret societies of the world, and try to shed light about people who are spreading love and not stop trying to ostracize each other for opinions and things like that. I think I read an article about him giving water to some Pakistanians. Like, he's a great human being. And I think right now it's just a perfect opportunity for people to try to diminish his image.
Can I speak on this for a hot second?
Please do.
The brother that's a Jew. This is the type of conversation that needs to be had on a national level, because there's levels of ignorance that go out that people never get a chance to address. Because if one thing is said, the word anti-Semitic comes up, and that shuts everything down, because that's been portrayed as this such negative and vile and evil thing. The problem is, like, I'm listening to you, and you freely on here for the whole world to hear admit that you're Ashkenaz, right? So anybody that can process, anybody that can research, could go right and say, where did Ashkenazi Jews come from? And when they research it, they're going to find out that Ashkenaz did not come from Shem. They came from Japheth. There's three lines that you have to come from. You're coming from Ham, you're coming from Shem, or you're coming from Japheth. And you admitted you're an Ashkenazi Jew, which I believe. But you came from the line of Japheth. If you go back,
that's not relevant though. It's not even relevant. It's not relevant at all. It has nothing to do with the fact that I'm Jewish or not. It's not relevant.
Hold on, bro. I listen to you. It is relevant because when you use a word like anti-Semitic, that is coming from being anti against the line of Shem.
Would you rather I say,
brother? Hold on, bro. I never cut you off.
I know. But I'm saying if I use the word anti-Semitism, would you rather say like anti-white Jew? Would you rather say that? Okay.
This is the stuff that happens. This is the ignorance that goes forth. When the truth starts to come out, it gets suppressed. This is what they're trying to do to Kyrie. They want to suppress this level of truth that's in that movie. I actually know the man personally. They wrote the books and did the movie. I know him personally. I've had him for years. But if you do any research yourself, you're admitting you're Ashkenaz, and I believe you. But when you look up, where did Ashkenazi Jews come from? What line are they from? They came from the seed of Japheth. So that does not make them Shemitic or Semitic. And that's where the problem comes. That's why he's saying, how can I be anti-Semitic when I know who I am? I am from the line of Shem. So how can I be against myself? That's what he's saying. And now Jews will say, like you just said, well, that's irrelevant. That doesn't matter. Yes, it does, because now truth is being presented to the world. And Jews don't want that truth out there, because that word anti-Semitic would have zero power when they realize the people using it are not Semitic. They're not from Shem. You just admitted that. You can go to Genesis 10 and see that the Ashkenaz and the Sephardim, they came from Japheth. Now, you'd be better off saying I'm anti-Japheth, but that don't have the backing that anti-Semitic has. That is so negative. Once that's said, all conversation is shut down. Everybody needs to be in this apology mode and counsel mode, and you need to be trained on how not to be sensitive and all that. It's just truth. But nobody wants to hear this truth. So then you ask yourself, why? Why is this truth being suppressed? Why is it being suppressed? Do you deny the fact that you come from the line of Japheth? Or do you know that you came from the line of Japheth? Do you know who Japheth is?
I'm telling you, that's irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. It has nothing to do with genetics. It has nothing to do with real history. It's irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant.
Did y'all hear what he just said? I'm sorry. Did y'all hear what he just said? He said it has nothing to do with real history. That's what he just said.
The Bible isn't real history. We know that. It's stories.
Where do you get, hold on, what does the word anti-Shemitic mean then, my friend? What does it mean?
A Semite is from, it's very easy.
Where does Semite come from?
It does, again, like, it's irrelevant.
It's a line of people.
It's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant.
The word comes from a line of people. Quote unquote, the chosen people.
Would you rather, okay. No, this is a serious question. What would you rather the term people use then? Because there is hatred against Ashkenazi people.
Hold on, bro.
100%.
Hold on, bro. I don't need a term. The proper term would probably be anti-Japheth, because that's the line you came from. You didn't come from Shem. But see,
that's fine then.
But here, hold on, bro.
But I'll take that. That's fine. I don't believe that, but that's fine.
Hold on, bro. Japheth is not from the chosen line of people. Shem, that line is the chosen line of people. That's the chosen people of Yah. That's the chosen people of God. Hold on. You just said it. You just said it. I heard your words. The Bible is not real history.
It's not real.
But the word, the anti-Semitic comes from the Bible.
No, it comes from a word that's in the Bible.
I got you. Okay. All right. So you use a Bible term to defend yourself as a people, but we don't believe in the Bible.
I'm not using the.
I want people to understand. I want people to make sense out of this.
I'm saying if you don't like the term anti-Semitic.
No, brother.
No. If you don't like it to refer to Jewish people, okay. I don't believe that, but
I'm Shemitic. I know I am. I know who I am. So I don't have a problem with it. The problem
but you do though, because you don't like the term. The people who don't like Jews are not referring to you though. They're not referring to you.
They are, because they're using my line. I'm from the Shemitic line.
They didn't kill 6 million of your people in the Holocaust. It didn't happen. And you know that.
Let me ask you this. How many of my people you think got killed in the transatlantic slave trade?
Irrelevant. It's irrelevant. You're just doing whataboutism. It's irrelevant. They didn't kill you because of your race.
No problem,
they didn't kill you because of your race. They enslaved you, but not.
No problem.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
I think the people can see where the issue lies. When the real facts hit the table, the instant word from your mouth multiple times has been it's irrelevant.
You're talking about stuff that was invented in like the 1980s or 70s. It's like not real. It's not real.
He said it's not real. All right, my brother.
It's not real.
Cool. We can get back.
I know you've done your research, but it's not real, and we all know this. You just didn't have a Jewish person on to tell you that, and you probably never met a Jewish person. It's fine.
I do a lot more than research.
I didn't want to do an argument like this, because I knew you would come against me, and we're never going to agree.
If you actually notice, I'm not arguing with you. I'm not amped up about it. I'm saying to you, there's ignorance surrounding the word anti-Semitic, and the ignorance is when the truth about that word comes out, Jews want to suppress it. Ashkenazi Jews like yourself. Sephardim Jews like your brethren, they want to suppress that. They don't want that level of truth coming out. And there's ignorance behind that word. All you have to say is this person anti-Semitic. Now the world's going crazy. That's what the brother above you was.
I don't think Kyrie's anti-Semitic.
The brother above you was just talking about that. This man didn't say a word. All he did was make a post. And all these assumptions and accusations have come on him to degrade his character. The movie has a lot of information. Hold on. The movie documentary has a lot of information about who he is as an individual, where his true history comes from. But see, coming from an Ashkenazi Jew, like you are, because you admitted that, that's what you said you are.
You make it sound like I'm like a criminal because I said I was an Ashkenazi Jew. Like, that's fucking hilarious.
Bro, you admitted to being that. And you want to suppress that truth because you will get on here and you just said it. The Bible's not real. It's not real history. You know what? It's my history, though. It is real history. You don't see it as that,
not.
But it's a Hebrew book. It is.
Of course, it's a Hebrew book.
It's the
but did you grow up as a Hebrew?
Yes.
No, you probably grew up as a Hebrew.
Yes.
And why is everybody else around you who grew up as a Christian? Different, completely different.
Hey, what's your? I'm sorry, I don't even know your name. I don't want to keep.
I'm Aaron.
Aaron, and I'm Rufus. I'm Elder Rufus. You can go to my channel, Straightway Georgia. Straightway Georgia.
I've seen your channel.
Well, you know what I grew up in. Then you see how we.
I know. It's different.
You see how
it's different. It's different. People are different. I just don't think we're ever going to agree, and I also don't think this is like an amazingly productive dialogue.
Again, though, I'm trying to tell you, it's the suppression of the truth is where the problem comes. The ignorance behind this word. Y'all want to say it and just expect the whole world to accept it to be what you say it is. That's not facts, though.
Okay, let's not even address the anti-Semitic stuff. All right, but
I appreciate you checking my page out. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you got to do your research.
Yep.
There's the one thing. Like,
go ahead.
There's Holocaust denial in that movie. So, like,
that's what.
I don't know.
Hey, Aaron, I got the documentary. That's what someone told you. You didn't see that in the movie. I promise you.
It's. I literally saw the screenshot. The Holocaust did not happen. The murders, I literally saw the
exaggeration of what happened in the Holocaust. That's what the movie speaks on.
It's the same thing as Holocaust.
That's what it speaks on.
It's literally the same thing. And that type of
thing.
That's
not the same thing, bro.
No, but let me. This is really important, though. That type of thinking makes it seem, and you makes it.
Hey, my brother. At one time in history,
it makes them look like others.
My brother. At one time in history, it was said that only 2 million people got killed in the Holocaust. How are we at 6 million now? That's an exaggeration.
Very easy. No, not even close.
I got you.
All right, Shaw.
It's okay. Like, I don't think he and I are ever going to agree on this. But like, I'm glad someone could come over from talking to my side because ridiculous things. But
I appreciate that you guys were able to come on and express your perspectives. I know that last episode there was it felt like there was a lot of kind of from one side of the spectrum, and you want to come up and share the other side, and we appreciate that you're able to come up and do that. That's why Players Choice exists, man. You guys are able to come up here and make yourselves heard. So thank you for that conversation. Now we can get back into basketball talk. So Mars, are you awake?
Yep.
All right. Good morning. Good morning, Mars. Good morning, chat. Yo. All right. I wish Bobby was here. Ron said that Bobby was supposed to be here because we're going to talk about Klay Thompson guarding Herder on that last. Was that the last possession? Bro, this is out. Yeah. So Herder pulling up from the wing for 3. Klay damn near tackles him. No whistle is blown. And Mars is probably running around his room screaming like a happy man. So Mars, walk us through this play. What went on? Did Klay foul him? What happened?
Klay 100% fouled him. It was a foul the first time I watched it. It was a foul the second time I watched it, and it was a foul the third time I watched it. I knew it was a foul the moment the play happened live. It was never a question to me. I guess the refs wanted to go home. They didn't want to see an overtime. I don't know, but it was an obvious foul. Am I complaining? Not really, but it's a foul.
Of course not. Of course not.
But
would you complain if the tables were turned?
As a newfound Rockets fan that I am now, I was just watching the game as a neutral. So would I complain?
Wow.
Probably not. But I mean, it was obviously a foul. The Kings have every right to be upset because they played a very good game. They probably deserve to go to overtime. Whether or not Kevin Huerter would have made the free throws, who knows? Because I saw Kevin Durant miss one of his free throws, so Kevin Huerter might have missed as well. But they had the chance to tie the game, which was taken away from them unjustly. So it was definitely a foul. I think if you ask Klay Thompson, I don't think he would say it wasn't a foul. He'd probably have to deflect and say, well, we got fouled and we didn't get a call this way, so it evened itself out. But he knows himself he fouled Kevin Huerter on that shot.
It's insane. It's insane that you don't get a whistle there.
I don't know. I don't know what he has to do to get a foul call there because it was the most obvious. He got fouled like 3 separate times. So
yes,
I
on
don't
the
know
hit,
how
and then he got hit on the arm twice.
I don't know how he didn't.
Bro.
Yeah, I don't know how he didn't get one of them. So I don't know what was going on.
I was watching. I was watching the highlights of that game, and I was looking at Herder. I'm like, you have such a fun job on this team, bro. You get to just run around the 3-point line and chuck threes. Like, I wish.
He's been shooting great as well.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening to Klay, man? Like,
You talking
he's
about
injured, of course.
Yeah,
in general, like, why is he dribbling so much? Like, why isn't he like? What is he trying to prove? I don't.
Oh, you're coming from that angle. I thought you were gonna ask about why he's like kind of falling. Okay, Mars, go ahead.
I think he's dribbling a lot. He's shooting terribly, but
playing outside of himself.
Yeah, I mean, I think didn't Barkley say something about how he's like fallen off or he's like injured right now or he's like a less than. I feel like he's trying to prove himself. Something. Yeah.
I spoke about this. I don't know how many episodes ago, but I was like, he just needs more time. And then shortly after, Klay Thompson said this in a press conference. He was like, yo, man, I basically didn't play for 2 or 3 years off of back-to-back catastrophic injuries. And everybody that's saying he's not the same, or I mean, number one, who would be the same? You know
exactly.
what I mean? Let's get that out the way. That doesn't mean that he can't go back and return to the level of production that we expect.
I hope he does.
From him.
Yeah.
I still have 100% faith that that's a possibility, but it just needs more time. You know, not everybody bounces back from something like that. Like, is this even a precedent? Like, do we even have an example of somebody who's been a shooter, an elite shooter like Klay has been, that has suffered those same injuries, that has sat out as long as he has, and then come back and still kill the way that he was before those injuries? I don't think that's ever been seen before. So I am more than willing to just let this rock and let this ride for however long it takes for Klay to, you know what I mean, get back. And I'm not going to like go crazy over no early season games, you know what I mean, that they wouldn't be winning anyway if he was healthy. You know what I mean? Like the Warriors are not very good right now.
Bro,
so
there's got to be a lot of mental stuff because like think about all the things mentally. If you were in his position, think about all the things that that have to go through your mind. One is the injuries, right? Coming off 2 injuries, like you said, Euro. If you've ever played a sport and you've come off of injury, mentally, you still think in a way that you're even though it's strong enough and healthy enough to go, you still think that it's potentially not, and you also play a little more cautious because you don't want to re-injure yourself. So there's that. Then also, I've said this 2 or 3 weeks ago, then also you have a guy like Jordan Poole coming in who just got super paid, and he plays your position, and you're used to being the guy, the beloved number 2 on the Warriors. Now you have to also deal with that of like, I have to not only be a good teammate and support this guy, otherwise I'm going to look like a fool, but I also have to produce so that I can still maintain my minutes. There's so much that would go on in somebody's head, and is you don't know what goes on in anyone's head. He might not be thinking about this at all. So I'm not going to put that on him, but I'm just saying, like, think about it from that perspective of you never know what's going on in his head. But Elder, go ahead.
That's why I said he's pressing. That's what he's doing. He's pressing. And all the old school players kind of know before the money got all, the way it is now with generational wealth and stuff. If you wasn't like in the upper echelon top 5% of the players that were superstars or stars, your job was pretty much on the line all the time. You could literally get hurt and not have a job after that. So he's in that mode now where he's pressing. And I think your point was made, was a good point about there's a guy right here right now that they just paid. Now I'm coming up to be paid. Let's keep it real. I'm coming up to be paid to extend my career. They haven't offered me an extension yet. We ain't talking about that yet. And this man is younger, getting it done on the level I used to or greater. It's pressure. It's pressure.
I also didn't even mention Wiggins either.
But listen, y'all putting too much emphasis on the pool stuff, in my opinion, because I think when it comes to getting paid, like who's coming up or whatever, they first have to figure out the Draymond situation for, the issues that we were talking about earlier, ego and stuff like that. Do you want to move forward with him? And if so, how much money do you want to put in that pot if it's a volatile concoction? You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know how that's going to pan out, especially because now you are financially committed to somebody like Jordan Poole, who actually is coming up. Of course, I just said we're, overemphasizing the Jordan Poole situation, and then I just mentioned Jordan Poole. But I just think, I don't think that is the top thing that maybe.
I think it's dual, like he's saying, like old boy said, because it's not just Poole. Poole's more on the offensive end. What Klay did. You got Wiggins doing what he did on the defensive end. He's the defensive stopper.
Both sides of the floor, to be honest.
And here's the thing: both those guys already got their bread. Mm-hmm. They just extended those two guys, so the company has already showed you they're committed to them moving forward. What's going to happen if I'm still inconsistent? I'm not the old Klay. I am in my 30s now, so there may be just natural decline involved with trying to recover from this injury. What is my value? And am I going to be offended if they come and say, Klay, we love you, want to keep you, but because we have to pay these guys to do what you used to do for us, you're only worth $15 million a year for us now, or $20 million. Is Klay going to be with that, or is he going to say, I'll go to the Lakers and they'll overpay me to be a mediocre player? This stuff is what's going on in Klay's mind. He wants to be in Golden State. But who wants to go from making, what is Klay making, $40 million? I don't know what he's making. He's making a max, right? So if he's making high 30s, low 40s, who wants to go down? Nobody wants to take a D cut and pay. And with the way their salary cap is, Klay know in 2 years when he comes up, that they're not going to want to keep paying and have a $600 million payroll. This is all stuff on his mind while he's out there, and it's causing him to press. He's pressing to improve, to show that he's there, and he's just not. His body can't respond properly. So, and I don't think I don't think Klay's ever going to be the player he was. Definitely not defensively. His lateral movement will never be the same.
Yeah, I guess I don't want to speak on the defensive end, but, as far as offensively, I mean, this is a rhythm player, right? Because he's a shooter, right? He needs rhythm. And so when we're talking about he may not ever be back to how he was, I don't think the production I think that's a separate conversation because this is layered, right? If we're talking about rhythm and his body's different now, he has to reacquaint himself with that like new set of wheels that he's working with now, right? It's not going to be as automatic and muscle memory and all this stuff as it was with the old type of, abilities that his body had before the injuries. So now that he has all of these restrictions that his body is putting on him because of these injuries, right? The aftermath of it. He just has to figure out a rhythm. And so the slightest change in that can throw your shot off. You know what I'm saying? The shots that he used to make, he may not be able to make. And to your point, if he's pressing, I think you say he's pressing. I'm looking at it like he may just be looking for a new avenue. You know what I'm saying? to number one, find his rhythm, but also, bro, the shots that used to be my bread and butter, they're not falling. Let me, you know what I mean? I'm gonna still shoot those, but let me try to find something else. You know what I mean? Some like the second most favorite shot that I feel most comfortable with. Maybe that's working. Maybe the other, you know, the third one, the fourth one, whatever. He's just testing his arsenal, in my opinion. So,
Okay.
Mars, thoughts?
I think Klay got worse at basketball.
Simple as that, huh?
Yeah, he got worse. It's not a
How old is
disrespect.
Klay? How old is Klay, y'all? 31,
32.
32? 32?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
same.
he had
Graduated.
crazy injuries. Like having crazy injuries like that is hard to come back.
Yeah, it's not like I'm disrespecting him by saying he.
You know,
like,
technology.
I
You know, but
expected him to get
according to
worse.
Euro, technology should make him, you know, be able
Oh
to
my
overcome
God.
this. You know, I'm just saying though.
he
According
will.
to technology,
Of course. Look. He's playing. He's starting for the Golden State Warriors, defending champs.
so
He
what?
won
That don't
a
mean he's good.
No,
Bro, what
Of course
the-
not. Of course not, Dub. What are you talking about? You're talking about playing
Two
at an elite
completely
level.
different
Which-
things.
Yeah,
He's
In
not playing at elite
recovery
level.
time.
And
He's playing at
recovery
elite level.
time.
Next.
He's playing at elite
Recovery
level.
time.
Next.
Dub.
No.
I'm not
We
talking
stay
about.
here.
I'm not.
We
No,
stay
I'm
here.
not talking, bro. Duh, don't piss me off right now. I swear to God, man.
Let's go.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we here for? We're here to piss each other off, right? This is basketball. Let's do it.
Remember, bro. Remember what I said in the chat, in the group chat, JD, where I was like, "Yo, Dub just be making shit up in his head that I be saying or whatever," and then
Bro,
he just
for
runs with
sure.
that.
For
I'm
I'm just
saying
trying to
none of that dumb shit he
clarify.
was
I'm just
saying.
trying to clarify. Can I clarify?
Bro, go
Is
back
Klay-
and watch it again,
Is
bro. I'm
Clay?
not
Is Clay
doing this
coming?
with you
Is
every
Clay? Is
episode.
Clay?
Dub, you
Is
have a
Clay
great
playing at an
imagination.
elite level? That's what we're talking
Dub,
about.
Dub, no.
No, that is not what we're
This is
talking
what
about.
we were talking about. We were talking about Klay's play, and then you decide to bring up medical advances. Like there's a correlation between I got injured because of medicine. I should be able to still
According
play
to
great,
Euro's
you
logic,
bozo.
according
You
to
are
Euro's
bozo.
logic, technology is so high today's day that these guys should be able to
So
come
that
through
you can
injury like
return
this.
earlier, you bozo.
No, to be playing at a higher level. To still be playing at a higher level. That's what
So
he
then
fucking said.
everyone should get injured then.
That is not what I said.
Rewind
That
the
is not-
tape.
I'm not.
What
that's
episode
not
was
what I
this?
said.
What
Dub,
episode
you are
was this?
bringing in another take. Now you have 3 takes into one.
That's the
trying to
take that
correlate
I'm
them all.
addressing the whole entire time. I
What
remember
take?
a conversation we had a few months ago. He goes like, well, you know, the way that modern medicine is here today, the way players can come back and still be themselves, you know, it's just able to happen just so seamlessly because of
I said it
technology.
just like that. I said it just like that, Dub.
I don't know the exact words, but that was your
You
premise.
don't know the exact word.
That was
That's
your
my
premise.
point, bro.
That
Shut
was your
up, man.
premise.
Let's-
You don't even know
Baby,
your exact
moving
words.
on.
What were your exact
Moving
words?
on. Of course I do.
Elaborate.
Of course I know my
Elaborate.
take.
Elaborate.
If I know,
Elaborate.
yo, JD, let's move
You
on.
running
I'm
from
not
the
doing this
smoke.
with Dub.
You running from the smoke.
Dub, there is what you're doing is
How we
smoking
going? How we going
I
to
don't-
ask for
I don't know what
clarification
kind
for
of smoke
something?
this is.
And somebody, how we going to ask for clarification for this? But nobody's going to sit here and clarify.
Because you won't
Dub,
listen.
you need to get your facts straight first.
You guys haven't told me
And then-
shit.
And
You
then
guys haven't told me shit right now.
You just refuse to listen, bro.
I'm asking. Euro.
Oh my god.
You see?
bro.
And this is why we never go
I
nowhere.
might just
Churlish.
shun you, Dub. I might
Churlish.
just shun you.
Churlish. Extremely
Look, hey,
churlish.
cash out. You're not wrong. Speaking of Twitter, make sure you follow everybody on Twitter. The
Dub
links
is
are in the
definitely
description.
drunk. What's in that fucking cup?
Yeah, for real.
Ice.
Yeah, he put vodka in the ice cube thingy, and then
Nah, it was Pepsi. It was my first time drinking soda in like a month.
wait, can vodka freeze though? If you do that,
No.
No, it
No.
can't. It's
so
alcohol.
it would just be cold ass liquid. That's crazy. Assist sent a super chat. He said this is when we were talking about the start bench cut stuff. So this must have come into conversation during that. Steph shot 4 for 14 from game 3 and game 7. That's not on Dre. Plus Wiggins was a number 1 pick, and Kerr convinced him to buy into the system and be a role player.
You know what? You know what, Jay?
The point
You
was we
fucking
shouldn't have
pissed
been
me
in
off.
the game 7. That was the point.
You
But-
know what, Jay? You pissed me off. All this bullshit. Oh, I'm a debonair. You know, I'm supposed to be this debonair. The one moment you're ready to dick hop on somebody else, you take it. You know what? Put your salutes down. You're no longer a part of this.
No.
This is why I say,
No.
people, let this be a reminder to everybody. Be wary of who you trust. Even though somebody
up.
will say, that they're on your side, the true colors will
So,
show.
Dub,
And Jay is a perfect example of that.
So
Jay,
Dub is definitely
you are,
drunk.
yes, man.
you are
You
a
want yes men.
disgusting,
You want yes men in your corner?
despicable human being,
That's
and the
crazy.
very L of the most L of hosts. It is disgusting the routes in which you take. I'm off you, Jay Mars. We had a conversation about this, and I even told you, I said, I'm not too sure about Jay. I still have to see. True colors have fucking shown themselves. Head on a spike.
You are crazy, bro. You just want a bunch of yes men in your corner? That's crazy. That's not how you
It's a different being a
elevate.
yes man and just dick hopping. And that's what you just did.
Okay. Loaded sent the super chat, said, I don't know if y'all talked about it. I'm just tapping in. But what y'all think about what Braun said about the Migos? Yo, the memes that are coming out of this have me in
I don't get that. I don't get that at all. Why people don't understand what he said.
Bro. Oh my God, bro.
What do you mean? Do you think? Are you of the opinion that LeBron is actually not lying or exaggerating? He's just like.
Well, what he said, and maybe I'm off because I didn't hear all of it. What I heard was that he said in 2010 he was listening to their music,
right.
telling people that these people nobody even knew about them.
Right.
Nobody knew about them. These guys are next up.
Right.
So people are saying, well, their album didn't come out to 2011.
Right.
You acting like LeBron James don't have access to that before it comes out. I don't understand why people don't get that.
Kobe was going to drop 80.
But also,
the music wasn't made in 2011.
Right.
It was made before that.
But Elder, also, who cares? Because it just sets the internet up.
You know what it is?
They can run with this. And
you know what it is, Elder? I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you where I think this is a little bit exaggerated. But when you have a guy, who's a repeat offender of capping, son, that's what it's like. Yo, broad, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, shut up, bro. Why are you just capping like this, bro? He said, Mars said it. Oh, I was watching the game, and son just told me Kobe's going to drop 70. And when he did it, I was like, why not 80? What the fuck? No, he wasn't thinking that. On top of that, a guy was like, I remember one quote. There was one quote a guy had on the barbershop. LeBron. Oh, yeah. I know that saying. That's my favorite saying.
Rashford was on.
Yeah, like, yo, shut up, bro. Like, shut up. Fake reading Malcolm X books. God damn it, bro.
Yo, look at this. This is so funny, bro. When my homie's girl asked if he was with me at a certain date.
That's exactly who you asked. Oh, yeah, he was in bed by 9. Believe me,
man. But you know what? Like, I'm here for it though, man. I think this is like harmless banter.
Oh,
I
it's
think
so
this
harmless.
Is, like,
so
when
good.
LeBron catches a lot of heat, a lot of flack, and a lot of hate for whatever. And so if it's refreshing to have something like that is like childish and like doesn't have a lot of venom in it. You know what I mean? Like people just poking fun. So I do appreciate that for a change.
Bro, 1000%. Because when it comes to like. You see this on Twitter, bro. When you're talking basketball, you put your opinion out there, everyone goes crazy, right? This crazy back and forth. Here's the thing that in the basketball community, we get to all share laughter and be on the same side and take part in the joke, and it doesn't harm anyone. It's amazing, like you said, Euro. All right, moving on. The Isaiah Thomas beef in Michael Jordan. Or the Isaiah Thomas Michael Jordan beef continues, bro. This is going to be once a year, every year for the rest of eternity. We are going to have a new headline of Isaiah Thomas Michael Jordan beef. This is actually the quote that brought this back to surface, and it's the full quote because there was a lot of people putting stuff out there that was just the one sentence. This is the full quote. Isaiah Thomas said, when I was watching The Last Dance, I'm sitting there and watching it with my family, and I'm thinking everything is good. And then this guy comes on television. He's talking about Michael Jordan, and he says that he hates me, and then he calls me an asshole. And then I proceed to watch a whole documentary about him being an asshole. I'm like, wait a minute, time out. Until I get a public apology, this beef is going to go on for a long time because I'm from the west side of Chicago.
Whatever, bro. He ain't about to slide. What I'm saying, though, is he's absolutely right. But, like, we know what it is. Everybody knows what it is. He should just let it go. Like, if the beef is the beef. Y'all don't like each other. Y'all can leave the earth. being okay with not liking each other. You know what I'm saying? That don't take away from what Zeke has done. That don't take away from what Jordan has done. And neither does it give you guys any brownie points, for it. So I just think, to stop dragging it, you know what I mean? But he was correct, though. Michael Jordan called him an asshole, and then he proceeded, for the next 6 or 8 episodes, whatever it was, to be an asshole. So I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? But it's his documentary. Zeke, you can make your own documentary. You know what I mean? I would love to see one on the Bad Boy Pistons from his perspective, especially when it comes to Rufus shaking his head, but especially when it comes to the beef with the Bulls and all that. So I would love to see that. Maybe if he wants to be petty, talking about he from the west side of Chicago and can slide, then go ahead, be petty.
You had over 30 fucking years. You should have slid back then, you bozo. This sounds like the angry ex, you feel me, that always be bad mouthing you, and then you got the boyfriend who's like, yo, I'm just living my fucking life. Why my ex talking bad about me like this? It's been fucking 10 years since I've seen her bitch ass. Why?
Chill,
why I mean, it's been 10 years since I've seen her. You feel me? Like, why are you still talking bad about me? That's exactly what it is, bro. He's an angry ex, and MJ's just sitting here like, okay.
Well, it goes to show that back in them days, we really didn't like each other. They were a little bit before my time, but that era, we didn't have the AAU and all that kind of stuff, so we didn't become friends, bro. And when you got on that court, you really didn't like those dudes at all. All you wanted to do was smash them. You wanted to destroy them, beat them as bad as you can, and you would be cordial. Most guys mature to the point where off the court they could be cordial, but Isaiah just petty. I mean, that's the only thing I've always disliked about Isaiah. In college, I went to Rochester University. It's in Michigan. I got to work at the Palace when he was in the championship runs. You know what I mean? The early 90s, I should say, right after it. And he's just petty. He's a petty dude, bro. He's a petty cat. And nobody likes that. Not from no man. You know what I'm saying?
That was MJ, to be fair.
No, he is. But at least MJ MJ ain't denying he an a-hole. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's a competitive, I want to beat you a-hole instead of I'm going to be petty and do, you know what I mean? It's like,
that's
I'm going to get every
bro.
advantage to beat you. He's got like the ultimate competitor spirit. I want to win at everything. If we're going to drink this bottle of water, I want to drink it faster.
If I got to slap you in the face, I'm going to slap you in the face.
But Isaiah's different. Isaiah's different. He's just petty, bro. And I never cared for Isaiah on that level. I still have him up there in my, top 5 point guards all the time, but I just think he's petty as hell and he needs to move on. But I mean, the one point Isaiah makes that's right, and I'm going to sidetrack a little bit. They did used to whoop the Bulls' tails in the 80s when they were winning and dominating. He did. So I understand why they looked at it and like, well, he didn't beat us. You know what I mean? When we was in our prime and getting it in, he couldn't get over the hump and get us. Now, once we were old, about to lead the game, that's when he rose to fame. But before that, we was destroying his little tail. So
that's
such
an exaggeration, though.
Oh, they used to beat the crap out of the Bulls.
No, I think it's extreme exaggeration where, the Pistons had to get old as hell. Like, they were still a really good team. They were still a championship caliber team when they lost. It's just MJ just became better than them. I mean, Isaiah Thomas was only 29.
Back then, guys were really bowing out 10, 11, 12 years into the league, bro. Because how physical it was. So think about that. Isaiah came at 80, 81? I can't remember, 80, 81. So if you're talking 91, 92, 90, he was bowing out. All them guys was hurt, Bird. All them guys started getting hurt about that time frame or catching a disease or whatever. So they did those guys that was beating him, they did get to the older stage and almost towards the end of their career before he started winning. He didn't beat any of those guys in their prime.
But they were still championship caliber, correct? At that time?
The Bulls or the Pistons? Yeah, they still were like the Celtics when they had Paul Pierce on them. They were championship caliber, but you didn't expect them to win. It was okay. They got one, but they were getting older. You know what I mean?
I can understand. I understand you in that point, but the Boston Celtics is actually a perfect example with LeBron James. Even though they were older, they were still a very competitive team to be respected. The Pistons that year was definitely a competitive team to be respected. Mars, wake your ass up. The Pistons was a competitive team to be respected. That's all the point I'm saying. So you're saying it wasn't on our prime. I mean, bro, it was 1 year after your prime. You fell off that much of a cliff after 1 year of winning a title? I'm not hearing that shit.
With injuries and stuff, you can fall off like that. And your window closes. That's what I'm saying. Your window can close quick. It can. Your window can close quick. Especially back then.
people were pointing this out in the chat, and I'm glad that you did, because I was actually unaware of this when I was kind of creating what we were going to talk about on the show today. But the Brooklyn Nets have made a decision on their coach. They're going to lift the interim tag from Jacques Vaughn, and he's going to replace Steve Nash as the head coach for the Brooklyn Nets. That means Ime Udoka is out as the Brooklyn Nets head coach. Curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Mars, maybe you'll wake up and enlighten us.
Did you just snore, Mars?
No.
What the fuck was that?
No, the Nets
that
are
was
still
a joke.
mid. The Nets are still mid. They're going to be mid. It's not a surprise. Do I think Jacques Vaughn is the savior? No. Do I think they're going to make the playoffs? Yes. Second round ceiling. Team's just not that good. Ben Simmons is not that good. Kevin Durant is very good. Kyrie Irving is very good. Joe Harris doesn't look the same.
Yeah. I noticed that too.
Still have no interior presence. I mean, Nicholas Claxton is who you're relying on. Then you have Day'Ron Sharpe. It's a problem. Rebounding is still a problem. Unless they make some trades, I don't see anything, because I don't think this coaching change is going to make them a good defense. And I'll see what the offense looks like with Kyrie if he comes back, but I don't have high hopes.
Aaron, I didn't even ask you. Do you have a favorite team? Who do you
I mean,
pay
I'm for
attention
DC,
to?
right? So
Wizards?
Yeah, Wizards, but
I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, it's brutal. It's so brutal. Bradley Beal just like can't.
I won't be bringing that up.
So we pick on Bobby enough at being a Kings fan, but yeah.
But Bobby is proud though. He wear that on his sleeve.
That's true.
Your team better than mine right now. I'm the Lakers fan. Your team better than mine, so I can't say nothing.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams better than the Lakers right now, which is crazy.
But we definitely we hear the defeat in your voice though, Aaron. So,
oh man,
Yeah. But
when you have to think about Gilbert Arenas being like the last best, like
John Wall, don't sleep on John Wall.
I love John Wall. To be fair, I love John Wall. Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Marcin Gortat. They had a nice squad there.
Okay, Thompson, you could have just slept it.
Okay.
I like Gortat. Nene was pretty good too. Like, he had a little thing on him. Otto Porter.
Now you are reaching. Like
that
2K
team was elite. That 2K team was elite.
I agree with you. Sorry, I got off track. I asked that because I was going to ask you if you've been paying enough attention to like just kind of what's going on with the Nets and like their offense, defense. I'm sure you've heard that their defense has been struggling, but wanted to ask your opinion on, do you think that a coaching change, no matter who comes in and coaches, is going to be able to turn that team around to have them play better? And, is that's the difference of bringing someone in and they're going to have a deeper playoff run, or does that even matter?
It's hard, right? Because like, look at the Mavs 2 years ago. Like they didn't play amazing defense, and then Kidd came in and similar team, right? And then they were number 2 in the second half of last year in defense, I think. And Udoka's a nasty coach, like really good, And it may take some time, but I don't think they have the personnel for defense. Like it's just tough. Kyrie doesn't play any defense. They're small. They want Ben Simmons to be like the small ball 5, basically, like Draymond, and I don't know if that's what he's particularly comfortable doing. It's just tough.
Speaking of Ben Simmons at the 5, bro, did you guys watch the last game where they stuck him in there for a couple minutes at the 5 and he just looked lost?
Yeah, they shouldn't use him like that at all.
If your defense relies on KD primarily guarding Luka Doncic, you're not going to have a good defense at all.
They're relying on Ben Simmons to actually be the defensive guy, the defensive anchor to a degree.
And he was getting smoked by Luka.
He's not there mentally, man. Now, on the article you read, if he's head coach, did he get a deal, or is he just head coach for the rest of this year? Like, did he get a 2, 3, 4 year deal? Jacques Vaughn, anybody know?
Yeah, good question. Vaughn's deal runs through the 23-24 season.
So a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
So they can literally get rid of him, and he's a lame duck coach next year. So they're testing him this year. They're testing him this year to see if he can rally the troops and all that. I agree with what Mars was saying at the beginning. Until he start going to the expectation or like the ceilings and all that, I don't have that for them. I think KD is going to rebel. They're never going to be good with Kyrie. we talking about Petty here a second ago, so we really got to bring up Josiah now. We're talking about Petty because he's another petty man. It's just sad. If you don't like the dude, you don't want to rock with this dude, just get him off your team. Trade him, get some assets, do something. But don't do this petty stuff you're doing. And I don't think KD has any trust in that front office at all.
Bro,
if
KD
you notice
has
KD,
to want out.
Yeah, if you notice his
he didn't want to go there in the first place, right? He wanted to go to the Knicks, right?
No, he got talked to him by Kyrie, but then last year he wanted to go in the summer. But then remember when this all went down with Kyrie, when they interviewed KD, his first statement was, "We should have left this in house." Who is we? He's talking about the front office. Like, you didn't have to handle it the way you did. You should have dealt with this in house. He's saying, Josiah, you should have went directly to Kyrie. Since you wanted to tweet about it, go to Kyrie. Let's handle it inside and let's keep playing basketball. He has no trust in them. I don't see Brooklyn Nets even making the playoffs. I think to me, at best, there'll be a play-in team that will lose in the play-in. That's like their ceiling, in my personal opinion.
Elder, I'm glad that you brought up Josiah because you have to wonder, after everything that's gone on and how he has handled the situations, anything that's gone on with the Nets, it's like, now what player would, and when I say what player, I'm talking about like a superstar or even like all-star caliber guy is seeking to go to Brooklyn. You know, it's like you're going to have to get traded there, it feels like at this point, if he's going to remain there. So tough scenes in Brooklyn.
I wouldn't if I'm a superstar. I wouldn't want to be there. I wouldn't.
Right. Speaking of superstars, did you guys see the thumbnail of today's video?
What is the thumbnail?
Oh, it's only the greatest player in the NBA and maybe in NBA history, to be honest. You know what's funny is somebody came on Player's Choice. This was, I want to say, a month ago. And I responded with a knee-jerk reaction, and I feel like I might want to walk that back. He said, Luka Doncic, when all is said and done, could be viewed as the greatest player of all time. He could be in that GOAT conversation, right? And I was like, no chance. Like, I love Luka Doncic. Obviously, I have a Dallas Mavericks bias and a Luka bias. But I immediately was like, no chance. And now, I know the season just started, but god damn, bro. If he's able to maintain this kind of level of play for the rest of his career, I mean, yes, he could be in that, top 10 conversation for sure.
Top 10 for sure. I don't think he'll ever be better than LeBron or Michael Jordan, mainly because of defense. Even though with the great offense they provide, they also provide a lot of defense as well. I don't think he'll ever be on that level. That's the only reason why he'll never be the GOAT.
That's fair, but if Jason Kidd coaches him for the duration of his career and hides him.
Dub, are those the only two that he can't reach because of defense?
Like, I got Kobe 3, so I don't know. I don't think.
I got Kobe 3 too. Kobe. He'll never reach Kobe. And here's the thing: I know this is a controversial topic, having Kobe at 3, and so wherever other people that don't agree with that ranking, wherever they have Kobe, I think there's a consensus that Luka will not be able to reach Kobe, so you have to place him behind that.
You guys are saying never. I would say never.
I think it could, because
mostly because of what Dub said. I think
you could bend the narrative though. You could bend the narrative with Luka Doncic being the great scorer in which he is. He provides a tremendous amount of playmaking as well, better than Kobe Bryant. So
is he a better scorer than Kobe though? No, he's not.
I don't know.
Me personally, no. But I mean, he's a great scorer though. Like he's shit.
Bro, I don't know. I feel like there is an argument because he is able to do whatever he wants from wherever he wants. Not to say that Kobe wasn't able to do that, but like
he can't do whatever he wants on the free throw line.
Okay, you just got him scoring in the free throw line.
That's scoring, bro. He's
part of player's choice.
What do you got? That's part of it. Imagine. Listen, man, you would be going off if he was a better free throw shooter. Look how many more points he would average, and you would be like, oh yeah. Huh? You don't give a shit about that.
That doesn't go into my scoring bag when I'm looking at players like, oh, well, look at his free.
Well,
look
at
Steve Nash. He was shooting 90%
part of
it. So
it should.
No one was saying this about James Harden when he was going crazy. No one was saying James Harden could be top 10, top 15. No one was saying any of this.
Because bro, he's not. Luka's better than Harden. Luka's better than Harden, bro. He's better than Harden. He's better than Harden due to IQ.
For sure.
No,
They're the exact
he's-
same person.
no.
They
except
are
Luka's
very
young.
similar. They are very
No,
similar.
they're similar but
Russ?
different. The thing that
The
No one said it
difference,
separates
the
about
them
difference
Russ.
is Luka doesn't fall off in the playoffs. That's the difference, but they play
Nobody
the
said
same.
it about Russ.
and
He
IQ.
was putting up triple doubles.
Luka's a
all over the
smarter
place.
basketball player than James Harden. That's
Why?
a fact.
I'm not
Because
why. How?
Luka, there's times where Luka, in my opinion, I see him more composed than a James Harden. While James Harden, if we're talking about the Houston Rockets, he was always on go. Wasn't really slowing the game down at times. I think Luka is more composed in that aspect, which is why he's so successful. So
He
yes,
can
they're
take
Y'all
eight
similar.
see
threes and
Luka
he can't
winning-
make them. That's not.
Huh?
Do y'all see Luka
Luka
winning
takes
5,
8 threes
6
that he can't make.
championships?
Well, not the 3-point shot I could
Ugh.
give you. That's a dumb way to. I don't know why he does that shot. I be watching him sometimes like Luka, like chill the fuck out. But other than that, I mean, all other aspects of his game, I think he's just a smarter basketball player than James Harden.
I would like to answer your question, Elder. I
Mhm.
would like to think that he would be capable of getting 2 rings, at least 2 rings. It's obviously predicting the future and like where he goes or what surrounds him in the future is hard to say. Like, who knows? It could be a Golden State Warriors situation where he's there for 8 years and then all of a sudden he just has the greatest supporting cast around him for the next 5-6 years and just starts rattling some rings off. So who really knows? But when I actually sit down and look at just him as a basketball player, it's hard not to believe that in the future you can start looking and comparing like, oh wow, this guy was really great for a long time, like stayed great at the top of the NBA for however long he plays, if he does, right? And then you can start looking at all the guys who have done that: Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, all the greats. And then that's why I'm saying maybe there is a conversation. Like I said, the knee-jerk reaction was no way. There's no way that could even be a conversation. But I'm semi-walking it back in that I think you could potentially have a conversation when all is said and done. I won't completely jump off the cliff and say he's going to be the greatest of all time, even
Top
though that
5.
would be elite.
I wouldn't walk it back at all. I don't think he
he's
has a
gonna-
chance of being in that.
Yeah, I don't think he has a chance either, but top 5, I think he has a definite chance of being the top 5 player ever.
I don't. Who is he going to replace in the top 5? Who? Who's going
You
out?
have Tim. You have Tim
In
What
Duncan.
about
your,
Magic?
in your,
Tim
in your
Duncan.
top 5, who's going out?
Let me think. I got who does it? MJ, LeBron, Kobe, Hakeem,
Chris
Shaq.
Paul.
No, not Chris Paul.
That's your top 5, Hakeem and Shaq?
Oh yeah, that's my top 5.
Okay,
Hakeem
well, he
and
may
Shaq.
be able to replace Hakeem then. I can see
Yeah.
that already. He may be able to replace Hakeem.
He
But
might
then
be
that
able to
would mean
replace
he'd be
Shaq
above
as well.
Shaq.
He might be able to replace Shaq as well.
Okay.
My issue is
I got
if you
issues
think-
with your
if you
top
think-
5.
If you think
You
Luka
should have
has-
issues with a lot of dubs.
I got
mean,
issues with your top 5.
Dub's
God
top
dang.
5 is nice. Dub's top
I like my
five.
top
No,
5. I have
I
issues
like-
with
I
your
like
top
the top
5,
five.
Elder. You got Jerry West, a top 10 player?
Wait, hold on, Elder. Were
No,
you
I
here?
don't.
Did you
I
hear
do not.
when? Did you hear when Dub said that Chris Paul was in his top 10?
No. We adjusted that already. Jay, this is the shit I be talking about with you. Like, what's wrong with you? This is the
Hey,
shit I
bro,
be talking-
you called me out today, so like now you're just
I'm
gonna
on
have
the
to wear
top-
these
hey,
for the rest
bro,
of the
I'm
show.
on the
so.
top balcony. Don't make me
You
jump
well,
off.
me and Elder agree. Me and
Don't
Elder
make me
agree with
jump
that.
off, bro.
No,
I'm
me
on
and
the
Elder
top
agree with
balcony.
that though. Me and Elder agree that Chris Paul's top 5, right? Point guard.
Point guard.
Yeah. We agree.
Point guards, yeah. I
Yeah.
would put him in my top. I had him 5, 6. It's kind of tied, but yes, I will agree with that. Not top 10 all time. Hell no. Not even
Nah.
close.
Magic's out of
He
the
ain't
top
top
5,
20.
top
He
10.
ain't top
too.
25. He ain't top
What?
40 all time. No.
Chris Paul?
Christopher.
Yo, stop
Whatever
capping
his
right
real
now,
name
Elder
is,
Rufus.
Paul.
Elder
Hell no.
Rufus. I like
Dub, you
Elder
know
Rufus.
he,
We're not doing
he
this.
values rings.
Oh, you know what though?
so
I'm sorry. I
Chris
forgot.
Paul's not
I
gonna
have
make
heard
it.
you
Emmanuel.
say about this new age that
It's his middle
don't
name.
want to put stock on winning, that we
Yo,
overrate
but okay, so
winning
let me ask
chips
you
and
this
all
then.
this kind
So
of
let me
like,
ask you
we
this
don't
then.
play the game to win.
Let me
You know
ask
what
you
I
this,
mean?
Elder.
But Rufus though, if you put so
Yeah.
much value on rings and winning and everything like that, right? And you say because of that you don't have Chris Paul top 40. Why do you have him top 5 point guards if you never won?
You play to win the game, right? And winning is the separator of the greats. You get to a certain level of just greatness. Then what's going to separate the greats? It has to be how much they were able to win. It has to be. Now, could there be variance in your winning in decades and all that? Sure. But you got to get there at least. You got to get there.
He only
You
been there
do.
once.
No, you got to get there and win it. I mean, you got to win it. You
Yeah,
got to
so
at
no,
least
so
win it.
yeah, so I answered the question though. I asked you
Is
how is
Kevin
it possible
McHale
for him
above him?
to be top 40 at best, or not even top 40 when it comes to all time, but at the same time you have him top 5 point guards all time. Like
Okay.
I don't understand. Like
And
he shouldn't
I'm gonna
even
tell
be
you
top
right now,
10.
I think part of what hurts that for him, helps that for him is the new age guards that are called point guards. I don't view them as point guards. None of them. So they're not in my top 5, like the Stephs and Dames
Okay, I
and
get
guys
it.
like that. They're not in my point guards list
Okay.
because I don't view them as point guards. They're
So let me hear your
guards.
top 5 point guards then.
Oh, I did it last one. What did I say? I had Magic, of course, first. Isaiah Thomas is in there. I think I can't remember the actual order, but I know I had Magic, Isaiah, CP3, Stockton. I think J. Kidd was in there. I may be missing a person or two
Oscar
in there,
Robertson.
but it was those guys. It was in that mix.
Okay.
Is Allen Iverson and Allen Iverson?
No,
he's not top 40. He's not. Wait, is he top 40? Is he top
He's a
40?
two-guard.
Is Karl Malone top
Yes.
40? Why are
Yeah,
they
I'll
top
give
40 and Chris Paul's not?
I just think Allen Iverson was a little bit better player, honestly. I do.
Is Kevin McHale above all of those guys?
Oh boy.
Kevin McHale was.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm ranking Kevin McHale over Chris Paul on my all-time list. Yes, I am.
Allen Iverson and Karl Malone too?
No, I'm not.
You would
Karl
have
Malone.
to.
No. The Kevin McHale, I don't put him, even though he won chips, I'm not putting him all time over Karl Malone. I didn't do that because Karl Malone achieved some other stuff on great levels.
Chris Paul achieved other stuff as well on great levels.
There's very few players that didn't win a chip that I'm gonna put at high regards. Very few.
And why come why is it that Chris Paul is not
He's just not on that level.
He's a guy who's impacted his team greatly every single time. Every single time they're one of the best. Any team he's been on, they're probably one of the best teams in their franchise's history.
But his flaw is getting to the chip. He just got there one time.
His flaw is getting hurt
towards the end of his career. Them other guys were at the top, and they were competing for the chip for a long period of time. They had a nice stretch in there, and they were making multiple championships and just losing. That's why I have certain guys like Karl Malone on them that high. Even a guy like Barkley, I will put there because he's made it. And he led, and he did that. Chris Paul, he's got a playoff flaw. Let's just keep it real.
His playoff flaw is getting hurt. He doesn't fall off in the playoffs. He doesn't fall off in the playoffs.
I think he does, and he don't get it
The
done.
numbers don't
Now,
support that. The moments don't support that. He don't fall.
No problem. It's subjective. It's my opinion. And the thing is, when I got my point guards, I look at what I would consider pure point guards. Those guys, and I don't. When you're just a scorer first, I don't put you in the point guard category. I don't. Like a Steph Curry is not a point guard to me. Allen Iverson is not a point guard to me. These
Allen
guys
Iverson's
aren't
never been a point guard though.
Who?
AI's always been a shooting guard.
But no, go look in the Hall of Fame. What do they have him listed as?
Do they really have him listed
as
a
shooting guard?
He's listed as a point guard.
No way.
Oh.
Yeah. He's listed as a point guard. Steph Curry was going as a point guard.
So do the Golden State Warriors just play without a point guard? So do the Golden State Warriors just play without a point guard?
I mean, they just put him in that position. But Draymond he's more of a point guard than Steph, in my opinion.
So they play with no point guard.
I just told you.
You said he plays in that
Draymond
position.
Green is more of a point guard on that team than Steph Curry is.
So they play with no power. So they play with no power forward
on that team.
So they play with.
That's
no
what a point guard. See, from where I'm from, that's what a point guard's supposed to do.
So they play with no power forwards.
You could be power forward, Mars, I guess. You know what I'm saying? You can play.
Draymond Green is the power forward, but you said he plays like the point guard. So
let's go with you new agers. You new agers said we play positionless basketball anyways, right? We don't have no position. So yeah, you're right. They don't play with any of those. Again,
wait, do you disagree?
What I'm saying to you is this: just because a guy has a label doesn't make them that's what he is, in my opinion. Yeah. Steph Curry, when I watch Steph Curry, like if I just physically watch him, guess who he reminds me of? Guys like Rip Hamilton, guys like Reggie Miller, running around, coming off screens, all that. All those guys were two guards. When I grew up watching basketball, two guards did what Steph Curry does now. That's what they did. Ray Allen, all these guys, they're two guards. They're scoring guards.
Who's the first point guard?
Also, because I confirmed it right now, Elder, you are correct in that he was inducted as a point guard.
I know who was the like original label of a true point guard?
I'm messing with you, bro.
Man.
I'm messing with you. You said what? Now I didn't hear your question. I'm sorry.
Who was the first, who got the label of a true point guard? Who was like the first person to get that label?
The first person?
Bob Cousy.
I have no idea, bro. I would sure that took place way back in the 30s or 40s. I'm sure.
Because I
imagine in the 30s and 40s they were saying true point guard.
The first person I heard get labeled as a true point guard was John Stockton. That's the first person I heard get labeled as a true point guard.
That's not true because Magic was that before Stockton.
Magic
Oscar
Johnson.
Robertson?
I never heard Magic Johnson get called a true point guard because of how tall he was.
Are you serious, bro?
That's not. I never heard that. I heard playmaker, obviously best passer, whatever. True point guard. John
serious?
Stockton was the first person I ever heard get called that.
Magic Johnson is like the consensus best point guard of all time.
I agree he's the best point. Well, I don't agree with that, but I agree that he's considered a point guard. But true point guard like Chris Paul, John Stockton, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, John Stockton.
You just young, I
I
guess, and never heard it. I guess I don't know. Tell you, I've
I
never
didn't
heard
hear people
Magic
say that because of how
I've never
tall he
heard
was.
Magic mentioned in any other way besides being a pure point guard.
That is fair.
I agree. No, I agree.
I've
he
never
gets
heard
called a
anybody call
point
him
guard,
anything
but
but
when
that.
I hear true point guard,
But Mars,
people, what I know, they
but
don't
Mars,
consider
okay.
6'9" guys true point guards.
Elder does make a good point in that
height
the
don't have nothing to do with it.
conversations that were being had then, like if you weren't part of those conversations, of course, now on the internet, that's way older than or younger than Magic Johnson. They're not going to be having that conversation on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Those conversations were happening at, having coffee, having a drink, whatever. So like, I could understand that point. But like when you're having
Magic
a
I'm not
conversation,
disagreeing. I'm just saying I never heard
Magic
Magic
was
be
a
called a
distributor.
true point
set
guard.
up
yeah, and he was telling you
he
why
ran-
you haven't
He
heard
ran
it.
the offense. He dictated the pace of the game. Those are things that point guards. When I grew up, that's what I was told point guards were supposed to do. These guys today that are point guards, they don't do that stuff. They ain't dictating the pace of the game. They're not distributing. They're not doing all that. Now they get assists because they have such a high usage rate. The ball's in their hand a lot. So when you bail out and okay, I can't get this layup, now I can just kick it to a big man for a dunk. Yeah, it's an assist, but you're not a distributor. These guys aren't distributors. Draymond Green is the distributor on that team. He's the one that gets all these shooters the ball in their shooting pockets so they can score better. That's Draymond. He's more of a point guard to me on that team than Steph or Klay is.
If we're
Point
going
forward.
off of pure point guard, why isn't Chris Paul better than John Stockton? He's
Oh
a
my
better
God.
defender.
Because John Stockton
We're not
just
going
did
down this.
more, bro. He did
Huh?
more. He did more.
He ain't do more. Stop lying, bro.
He did more.
He
bro.
got to the finals
Hold
twice.
on.
He got more
Hold on.
assists.
Time out.
He got
He
to
got
the
more
finals
assists.
twice.
Hold on,
though.
We've
bro.
had
Hold
this
on, bro.
conversation
Come on,
so
Hold on,
many
bro.
times.
Tell me one thing that Chris Paul does better than John Stockton.
Score.
Everything.
Score.
Okay, this is not
Literally
going to go anywhere,
everything.
Elder.
He
I
scores better.
Scores,
passes
he
better,
makes he
Elder.
defends better,
like,
passes
everything.
Elder,
Hell
He's
yeah.
better than John Stockton.
Yes.
Yo, we're not doing
Elder,
this.
so many people
All
have
right.
tried to bring Dub onto the John Stockton
It's-
side. There's
Bro,
you could
don't
literally
know nothing about you. Never
you could
watched
literally
the Stockton
try
game.
and-
I can tell.
I
You
did.
never watched it.
They lost a fucking game. They lost. They were losing series because of John Stockton's inefficiency to score the ball sometimes, bro. They were losing series because of him.
This
There's-
man shot
there's
50%
time-
for a
Bro,
career.
I think Houston.
he's
I think there was a
inefficient
time.
for-
There was a time where
God.
Houston. There was a time when they faced Houston. They scored, I think, a combined like 240 or 280 points. Fucking John
They-
Stockton only had 12.
Bro, that wasn't his
And they
role,
lost.
though. Again, you
So
got
that-
to
who's a
understand.
better
We're
scorer
talking.
than
We're
John
talking about who's
Like,
better. We're talking about
one
who's
game
better.
is
You're
crazy.
Who's a better scorer than
You're
John
talking
Stockton?
about points when in an era where point guards was not required to score. That's you had
So,
two
so
guards.
Chris Paul's a better scorer than John Stockton.
not only were they not
you got one
required
then.
to
Let's give him
score,
that. He's
Elder.
a better scorer. I don't think he is though, because Stockton could have scored more. That just wasn't what.
But he didn't.
This is the key. He doubles him in assists, doubles him, triples him probably
No,
in assists.
Tri-
And
what?
you think he's a better?
No, he
Go
doesn't.
look.
No, he doesn't. He
guarantee
doesn't.
you-
I
double
can
it
look
for
at
him.
it. John Stockton averages 10.5 and Chris Paul's at like 9.5. Like,
and really
it's one
quick,
assist more.
Because Elder, you said that he played in an era where point guards weren't required to score. Not only were they not required to score, you weren't going and getting a point guard because you're looking at their scoring ability. You're getting
Facts.
a point guard because you're looking for a facilitator, someone who could run the
Yeah.
offense. Get
Someone that
people
can
open.
That's
control
fine,
the
but when
pace
your
of the
Control the
inability
pace
to
of the
That
game.
was
score
one of
costs
the
your
biggest
team,
things
then
point
that
guards had to
matters.
do back then. You need to control the pace of the game. Get these guys shots in their sweet spots. Set them up properly. Those are
You
pure
don't think
point
Chris
guards.
Paul could do that with Karl Malone? He did it with fucking James Harden.
Did it with David
No,
West.
he didn't. He
Did it
didn't
with
do
David West.
He didn't
What?
do it with James
Did it
Harden.
with DeAndre Jordan.
Here's the thing, bro. He did it and didn't win.
He got hurt.
John Stockton didn't win.
Hold on, bro. He
John
just
Stockton
now
didn't
got
win
to-
either.
just
He
now
went to
got-
one more
he
finals than
just
him.
now got to a championship.
John Stockton didn't win. And
John Stockton
was
didn't
never
make
the
it
best
to a
player in
finals
his
to the
team.
end of his career.
Okay,
What
let
we
me ask you this.
doing?
Okay, no problem. Who had better teams? The teams that John Stockton was on or the teams that Chris Paul
John
was on?
Stockton.
You don't
John
think the
Stockton.
You don't think the Jazz are better
Case
than the
closed.
Pelicans and the
Case
Clippers?
closed. Case closed.
Case closed.
Case closed. What?
I will
John
say,
Stockton
Dub,
was on a team with someone better than him.
Dub, if you'll open your doors for me again, I will say I personally like Chris Paul better than Stockton. I will rank him over John Stockton. It's a
My
bias that
doors
I
are still
have.
closed. My doors are still
Actually,
closed.
Okay, well, I'm
I
knocking.
had them.
At least I'm gonna keep
He's
knocking.
just better than John Stockton.
I actually think I had them like 5-6 toss up. I think those were the
Yeah.
two guys I had right there because neither one of them
Bro.
won. So I had them like 5 or
Yeah.
6, and I said you can put either one of them you want in there because
Yo.
I think I had J Kidd ranked 4th above both of them.
Nice. Chris
Because
Paul
of the-
is one
wow.
of the greatest floor generals of our generation.
Who?
He's
Who?
Chris Paul.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like the way that he can control the game in crunch time too. The way that he just when you get into the final 4 minutes of a basketball game and Chris Paul's on the floor, he controls the rest of that game. The pace that game's going to get played at, he does it so well. He's a genius.
Be careful.
What?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh yeah, he did say that he was on the balcony. I hope he's not.
The sun
You're still with us,
baking my
okay?
back. The sun was baking my back. Oh boy, I had to quit.
Can you hear? Oh no! And then-
We're gonna.
Make me jump. I told him, "You're gonna make me jump, bro, with these takes."
Oh no! Before we move on, I wanted to prepare you, Aaron, because I didn't prepare you before this. Since this is your first time on Player's Choice, we have to get your top 10 at the end of the show. So, however you want to prepare for that, if you want to maybe start writing some stuff down as we continue on with the show, but I forgot to tell you that at the top. That's my bad. I've done that to several guests now, and I need to probably put that on the doc of preface that you are going to be giving your top 10. Football Breakdown sent a super chat. Zeke three-peated MJ and doesn't get the respect for it.
I mean, his team was just better, but
That's what happens. That's what happens when you act like an ex.
I give Zeke the credit for it. I got him in the top 5.
There, of
I actually
course,
have him number 2.
of course, there are people who do, and I'm sure there are people who don't. And I apologize if I butcher your name. I think it's El Haji 13 sent a super chat, said Malone contributed about 60% of those assists. Give CP3 a player like Malone.
Ding,
That's
ding,
David West.
ding.
Yeah, David West.
Tick, tick. Assist sent to super chat said, is Braun the only player you can put at multiple positions and he can be viewed as top 5 at that position? I like this question.
Magic.
That goes back to the criteria of positions. What does Bron look like as a shooting guard? Like I don't get it.
Well, we're seeing it now.
Oh my god. Yeah, so maybe not a top 5 shooting guard.
15. We seeing it now. He playing shooting guard for the Lakers now.
Steph could be classified as a point guard and shooting guard, so he's top 5 and 2 right there. So it's like,
That's why I don't get the position conversation. What does it mean to be a power forward?
it means you're supposed to be in the post and rebound the ball.
We're in this era where.
And then
it's
if you ask me if
basketball.
LeBron is top 5 as a post player and rebounder, no. So he wouldn't be a top 5 power forward. What's it mean to be a center?
Defend,
Rim protector.
rebound the ball.
Rebound.
Yeah.
No, he's not a top 5
Going
center.
to
What's it mean to be what's it mean to be a small forward?
He's top 5 small forward.
Or like a
That's
wing
what he does.
defender, secondary score to the shooting guard.
Okay,
Not really
he's
a
top,
playmaker,
He's a
though.
top 5 small forward. So what's
Not a-
what's
not a player.
what's a shooting guard mean?
Mainly scoring the ball, working
Or-
off ball,
Working
Play
off ball,
deep.
he's not a top 5 shooting guard. Okay, so what's a point guard?
handling the rock, initiating the offense, being
So
in
he's
control
top
of the
so
offense.
he's top 5 in 2 positions. Point guard and small forward.
Yeah, Steph is top 2 and 2 as well.
Thanks for the super chat.
MJ's top 2 in shooting guard and small forward.
It's crazy. Let's talk about Russell Westbrook. Last 6 games. We got off of Luka before. I think I brought this up, but he's leading the NBA in points per game right now at 36 points per game. That would be insane if he kept that up. What did Bradley Beal average?
35. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Bradley Beal, who's my James Harden?
34, 35, something other year.
Bradley Beal, didn't he win the scoring
It
title?
was like 32. It was
2
like
years
32.
ago.
Bradley
30,
Beal
32,
never won it.
33,
Steph
yeah.
won it. Steph won it.
Oh, got you. Okay. Well, I am a bozo. So Russell
He was
Westbrook.
I thought
close.
he won it 1 year too.
He was close. He was close.
Yeah, it was an
Steph went
insane
crazy
year.
in April and won it.
There's
But
something you
points per
can hang
game
your
was
hat
good.
on, Aaron. Bradley Beal, 35 a game.
Keep holding those L's, Jay.
Russell Westbrook in the last 6 games, he's been averaging 19.3 points per game, nearly 7 assists per game, shooting 51% from the field and 48% from the 3. Russell Westbrook coming off the bench, looking good for the Lakers. Mars, I don't remember if
How
it
many
was
turnovers
Player's
he
choice
averaged?
or the panel. Player's choice of the panel, but you had mentioned that I think it was actually last episode on Player's Choice that you had mentioned that this really doesn't move the needle for the Lakers, unfortunately. However, I can appreciate that Russell Westbrook is playing at a level that he's kind of getting that bounce back season where we can stop trashing the man for his performance. I like to see this out of Russ. I hope that he's able to continue playing at this level and coming off the bench and really embracing that role. Incredible to see. But Elder Rufus, I don't know that we got your perspective on Russell Westbrook, his production in taking that role, that 6-man role.
It's fool's gold is what it is to me. And again, he is playing better, but he played trash before. He played really bad before. I say it's fool's gold because, yeah, he is scoring. He's doing it against some of the secondary players because he's coming off the bench. He can still do it against, starters, but he still is an extremely high turnover machine. He still makes very bad decisions late in the game, second half, stuff like that. The biggest thing is that that's equated to nothing. I mean, we still 2-4 in those 6 games, so it's not equating to the Lakers being a winning type of team. So if folks say, well, it ain't Russ's fault, I'm like, okay, fine. When LeBron scored 30 last year, what did y'all say? It didn't equate to winning, so it's 30 meant nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
Fair.
We got to keep the same energy for Russ, and we're going to keep that energy for LeBron like that. I think it's fool's gold, though. Darvin Ham's done a very good job of controlling Russell Westbrook with his bad decisions. If you notice, when Russ starts to get crazy and going out of control and doing dumb plays, too many turnovers or taking dumb shots, he takes them right out of the game. You see what I'm saying? So he has to still be controlled by his coach, which is a good job coaching. I just think it's fool's gold. I don't think it's a formula for the Lakers to win. I think the Lakers to win got to get rid of him and get 2 or 3 quality players for that $47 million to have a chance. That's what I think. But Russ, if I had to describe what he's doing now, to me, it's fool's gold. You think it's really going to be pay off for you in the end? At the end, you're going to wrap it in his chocolate. It ain't real gold shit.
Aaron, what are your thoughts on Russ right now?
I mean, I get Russ is doing the same thing he did in DC, right? I mean, like dominate, but he's playing on the bench, so he can still dominate the ball. Like, Uncle Rufus actually, Elder Rufus, I agree with you about the playmaking, where he doesn't actually play make that much. He just dribbles a bunch, and then that's how he gets his 10 assists. He just drops it off to somebody, with 5 seconds left in the shot clock. So it looks like he's getting assists, but I mean, he's just not that productive. He's never been the player that drives winning. At least I don't think so. Since maybe 2016, 17. So and they're not winning either. It's just he doesn't fit that well. If they can't shoot threes, I don't know. Trade AD, trade Russ, trade everybody.
Trade them all. Rebuild.
Can we stop talking about the Lakers, bro?
The Lakers and the Nets get too much airtime for the teams that are that bad.
2 hours and we talk 2 minutes.
Nah, but Elder, we've been saying
we talk about the Lakers and Nets every show, and
have to.
We say the same thing. We say literally the same exact thing for. Shut up. We say the same thing for the last 2 weeks now. It's come on, bro. It's come on, man. I'm tired of saying the same thing over and over.
Hey, opinions might change on the Lakers. I'm gonna keep asking.
It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It's not gonna work. And then we just say it in a different tone the next week.
Yeah, you never know. I gotta keep asking because you never know. Your opinions can change. It's opinions.
You don't have to spend a lot of time on it.
Russell Westbrook being the team's second best 3-point shooter is not going to work. We can.
How many threes is he taking a game?
3 a game, something like that.
Three. I think 3.5, something like that. 4.
Better than 10.
4. He's taking 4.
Bingo. There you go. Mr. Two-Guard.
He's been their second best. He's been their second best shooter from 3, and that's not going to work. So the team's trash.
His career average is 4 threes a game. So I mean, he's shooting career average attempts.
He's actually knocking it down. He's doing pretty good shooting the 3.
Percentage-wise, he's above his career percentage.
Yeah,
way above.
So, all right. Let's talk about Giannis. Of course, this doesn't matter, but since we're here, Giannis is currently leading the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year ladder. So let's get into some hypotheticals here. I think we've actually talked about this, and I think, was it Ticket? Somebody brought up if he wins another MVP and DPOY. I feel like Ticket brought this up on the panel, that he's going to jump up to that stratosphere of, like, I don't remember where it was, and I could be misquoting, so I apologize if I am. I feel like someone said this, but where would that put him if he were able to get MVP and DPOY this season? I feel like we've talked about this.
I'm not the accolade guy, so
maybe no one.
He got to win the chip too, though. He got to. You mean just that without winning the chip?
Yeah.
Let's not do that one though. Those things still matter even if he doesn't win a chip, because he can win the chip that following year,
like he did in 2020 and then 2021.
I don't. The question is,
where
does it move him to? Is what is the question?
Yeah, like on the all-time
I already
conversation.
Have it on the all-time. I don't know. I mean, is it just to be his third MVP and second defensive player of the year?
I mean, it'll definitely give him a boost.
Yeah,
and I think it just is another example of his dominance. And if you're saying, I would rather have him have those two accolades plus a championship in 1 year as opposed to having, back-to-back years of, just one accolade after the other. I don't know which, that's a personal preference, I think, which one speaks more to the dominance of this guy. But at the end of the day, if he's getting this done, he's getting this done. I do agree, though. He needs another chip, though. And he's definitely getting a boost from it if, when it comes to the all-time conversation, obviously.
He's not going to move up the list without a ring. That's just a fact. He's not going to be top 10 without a ring. Because they're going to be like, it was a pity ring. I mean, everybody was hurt.
You would move him up the list. Let's say he doesn't get MVP.
No. I'm not saying move up the list. I'm saying it'll give him a boost. So if Dub has the opinion of, he's not going to move up the list unless he wins a chip. Let's just take the chip out, right? He's not winning a chip or whatever. I feel like the conversation and the debate around, who he's going to replace is going to be more tight than just saying, he is set in this position and that's just what it is. So I do think it's going to get closer, but I don't necessarily have to say that, he's going to move up in the list.
What do you mean by that?
Okay, Dub. You wanted to get that out so bad.
Dub is confused because I just halfway agreed with him. So he doesn't know what to do.
I don't. You asshole. You asshole. You're an asshole.
Oh my God. All right. All right. It is that time. It is that time to push your agendas. So whoever would like to push an agenda, this is your time. Dub, I know you have 6 agendas.
I need mine. This ain't gonna work. Hold on.
I don't think that's a good agenda, Elder.
I have an agenda to push.
Yes, please do.
Fire Jenny Buss.
Wow.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Now it's the legacies.
No.
I haven't seen the article, but I heard they're supposed to be boycotting or picketing or marching outside the crypto Friday
to try and get her out.
I mean, Jeannie's the problem.
Are you flying out?
No, hell no. I don't even want to touch the state of California, honestly. Yeah. So that's one of the few states I haven't been in. But I say remove Jeannie. That's the agenda I want to push. Get her out of there. Sell it. Let them get their little money and let somebody that's going to run it that really understands basketball and wants to win, because she doesn't. All she cares about is making money.
Elder, can I ask you this? Seriously, when you're in a position like Jean, right? Mm-hmm. You have your star guy. You have arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, pushing to build this super team. I mean, you have to roll with what your best players is doing. You in that position, you don't think that you're going to do the exact same thing?
Here's my thing. You say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You say that. Why stop then? So you roll with the best players. I'm going with your narrative. You roll with what the best players said in getting Russell Westbrook to make the super team, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So when the best player says, let's get rid of Russ and it ain't working, why ain't you doing that?
Because I don't think that anybody's willing to take Russell Westbrook. That's why.
There's plenty of people that'll take Russ. You just
47 mil a year. I don't think a lot of people are willing to have Russell Westbrook on their team.
San Antonio, Utah, Indiana, all these teams have been in there. Charlotte, all these teams have been around all summer saying they're willing to trade for him. Let's get it done, and they won't.
He'll find a home for sure. I don't think that's a problem.
They won't do it. So again, to me, they're not trying hard. They're making it clear. See, you got to understand how this thing works. They said before when they knew they couldn't get Kyrie, we're willing. Kyrie was on the table. Give us 2 picks. No. Then when Kyrie was off the table, they took away the 2 picks, right? Then they said, Lakers said, we'll give it. I said, they're not going to do the deal. So now Kyrie looks like he could be back on the table. What do the Lakers do? We got major concerns. Then they come out and double down the next day. We're not going to do a deal giving up these picks. So they got their mindset that they're not giving up these picks that are 5 and 7 years down the road. And there's a reason why. She knows she's incompetent, and there's a very high chance because take the bubble out. What is Jeannie Buss's record? What is her resume as an owner? 2013 on. What does it look like?
But listen, though, I don't know if we had that same energy when her brother was running the show and everybody was like so happy that she was able to take the reins finally. And then she got how many championships? And so how many championships has she gotten though?
One.
Just one in 2020.
Yeah.
How long has she been? How long has she been?
2013, right?
13.
But to be fair, there's been nobody there.
You have to look at totality. I think we've only been to the playoffs twice. The year we won the bubble and the year after.
Mm-hmm.
And we got eliminated first round. We haven't even been to playoffs any of those other years. We've been the laughing stock of the league with her. And again, she don't get credit for that. Everybody gives Clutch credit for that. Everybody knows Clutch is running the Lakers. Look at their roster. 7 or 8 of their players are with Clutch. Their coaches with Clutch. What's going to happen?
So here's the thing. Then if you're saying credit goes to Clutch, blame should go to Clutch too then. So why are you on Jeannie Buss?
My thing is this.
All those players are signed to Clutch.
She's been horrible as an owner, and they all know it. That's what I'm saying.
I think I know what you're saying, Elder, and I could agree with it in a sense because what you're saying is apart from LeBron and Clutch taking over, she hasn't done shit. So I like that way of thinking. I understand that way of thinking. But as long as you're not, because me personally, the most of the blame, in my opinion, that should be going on what's happening now, it should be going to LeBron James and his crew and his unit, in my opinion. I think so. But if you're going the route of she hasn't done anything before LeBron James, I could get behind that 100%.
And this is the thing. Hey, Mars, this is the thing. Nobody believes she's going to do anything after him. This is why those 2 picks, which are 5 and 7 years down the road, have become the most valuable picks in the NBA right now. Why do those picks have so? Do you tell me if someone goes to Golden State right now and say, I want your 2027 pick, you think Golden State gives a flip about that pick? You think Golden State thinks that pick could be a lottery pick? No, they don't. They think that's going to be a late first-round pick. We're going to be good. We got all these young guys. Again, it's the mindset. She don't have a winner's mindset. All she care about is the business side of it and making money. This is why LeBron got re-signed. She wants to keep the money coming in. How do money come in outside of the Lakers? Because the Lakers, see, her Laker money, that stuff has to get split between all the family members. So she's got to find, and that's all they got. They don't have, other businesses they just got the Lakers. So they're not rich like the rest of the owners are. They're in the bottom 5. So then they want these other avenues like breaking Kareem's record. You know how much that documentary movie, all that stuff's going to make them? Then if you can get LeBron's son, now I don't know that ain't guaranteed, but say you get that right there with the Lakers jersey on that, man, that's going to make them tons of money, residual money. And I don't have a problem with her being a great money person. I don't. I think she should stay in that role. She shouldn't be the governor making basketball decisions. That's where the problem comes in. And then they put these puppets like Pelinka up there. I told everybody he getting another job because he's getting an extension. I knew he was. Why?
I was about to say though, isn't the basketball decisions typically made by Pelinka?
I'm glad you used the word typically. Typically, in a typical situation, the GM does. Not here. He's just a face. LeVar Ball even
how do we know that though?
Bro, I can tell it by the decisions that are being made. I can. And LeVar Ball exposed that. When he got there, he realized, I talked with Magic for a day. I realized he's just a figurehead. He can't make no decisions. So if Magic Johnson can't make it, you think Rob Pelinka finna get the rights to make them? Mm-hmm. He ain't. He's just the figurehead that's taking all the heat for it. And that's why they'll pay him. He is not. They still have their brain trust. And when that brain trust does not agree, nobody makes a move. My thing is, why do I need 8 people to make a decision? I have one person I'm paying to do that. If it goes bad, we can all look at him. If it goes good, we can all look at him or her, or whatever, who's in that position. The Lakers don't have that. And that's the problem. Then she got a lot of people that basketball has escaped them. The Ramesses, the basketball has escaped them. It has. Magic. I'm being real. Magic, my favorite player of all time. Best point guard ever played. He's a fan first, and that's a problem. Magic speaks and talks like a fan about the Lakers more than he does a GM. These are the wrong people to be going to for your counsel. Phil Jackson, trade LeBron? Come on. Really, Phil? Really?
Yeah, but we knew Phil wasn't anything with what he did with. No. But I mean, he wasn't good in a GM role anyway. From what we know about the Knicks,
these are the majority of the people that get to make the decisions for the Lakers, and you wonder why they're a shit show. You wonder why. Jerry West has tried to come back to the Lakers so many times. Now, I don't know what happened between him and Dr. Buss, but he's tried to come back so many times, and it's getting worse and worse and worse on that end. Even at his old age, he's still showing, I'm a basketball mind. I'm a basketball genius. I'm a basketball savant. I'm going to make great decisions. The Lakers don't have that. And they're going to be pitiful. And all the GMs know. So that's why they don't deal with the Lakers unless you're getting them picks. That's the only thing of value they got. So it don't matter what you're giving back. Get those picks. Because you're probably going to end up getting 2 number 1 picks. Because Lakers going to be shit. They're going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up when you brought up the Westbrook contract. His contract expires at the end of this year, right?
Yep. Yeah. Another bad decision. Y'all know why that's bad? Do you know why that's bad?
Why?
You're over the cap, right? So Westbrook is $47 million. Why not trade him and get $47 million of assets instead of letting him fall off, and now you only have $25 million to spend?
I really don't think a lot of teams are willing to take Russell Westbrook now. I think there's a bad narrative around the league that he doesn't provide winning basketball. If you go to the San Antonio Spurs, they'll be a playoff team, but that's kind of bad for them because they're not trying. They should invest in a Victor Wembanyama. So why would they do that?
I mean, that's always been a narrative around Russ, though. He's never won.
They're never These teams that want Russ's contract, they don't want him to play. They want him to get the cap space. They want that space is all they want. None of these teams want him to be on the team. They're all going to release him. They're all going to buy him out. But it still has value in the expiring contract for them because they are tanking. They're not trying to win. So you want that. If you're under the cap, Russell Westbrook represents $47 million of room for you. When you're over the cap, he doesn't because you have to assimilate a team still. This is why the Lakers are only going to have 25 to 30 million, depending on who the rights they keep once Russ is let go. So you got 25 million and a first round pick this year, which is probably going to be the Pelicans pick because they're going to swap because we're going to be worse than them. And then you got 2 picks that you can trade 4 and 6 years down the road. Who are you bringing in for that? All the good players for all the players that were supposed to be good free agents coming up, they're already re-signing with their teams. They're all gone. Who you going to get for $25 million?
I don't know. There's a lot of free agents coming out next season.
What I'm saying, no, it ain't. Go look at the list. They're all re-signing with their teams. It's really not. Here's the thing, though. Why not trade them now? Do what a good team would do. Look at what Golden State did. KD was a mess when he left. Was it not a mess? But they kept it cordial and said, look, bro, let's give it the advantage of doing a sign and trade. Brooklyn loved it because, now I can just get rid of a guy I don't want him, D'Angelo Russell. When the D-Lo movement, everybody like, why the hell we want D-Lo? We got Steph, we got him. Doesn't matter. You turn D-Lo into Kuminga and you turn him into Wiggins. You got to make these kind of moves so that you can make moves. They're literally killing themselves when it comes to the flexibility they're going to have. This is basic basketball. Get these players so that you have flexibility to keep that kind of leverage when you're moving around. But the Lakers don't want to do that because they feel like they got to give up both those picks. I guarantee you right now, there's deals out there that the Lakers can make right now and give up one of those picks. They just don't want to do it because their mind is set on it. Their mind is set that if we don't get this super, because they're always chasing names, if we don't get this superstar player that can come in and turn our season around. Now, let me ask y'all this. I'm going to show y'all the real mindset of the Lakers. Why is it that what team feels like a first-round pick is going to lead them to a championship? Who feels that way? If you're picking first, second in the lottery, you like those guys. You want them to be your franchise players, right? But you don't think they're going to make you win when you get them.
It's not about.
If you're picking in the latter rounds, you don't think those guys are going to be the players. When I pick him at 23rd, he's going to be the one to get me over the top and make me win a championship next year. So why is it that when we got to trade these first-round picks, it has to be for a guy that makes us compete for a championship? Because your mentality looks at those picks as lottery picks. That's why. When you should be looking at those picks as those are late first-round picks because we're a great team. We're going to be a good team, and I'm going to assemble a good team, so those picks ain't going to be worth nothing no ways. That's the difference in mentality. That's why I have a problem with Genie Bus. That's why I'm pushing the narrative. What was the thing we called this? Pushing whatever. Agenda. Get her ass out of there.
You want to know? You want to know? You want to know who's in free agency next year?
Bro, there's a lot of people. There is a lot of
Chris,
people. I just
you got
the list.
Chris Middleton,
James Harden,
Kyrie Irving.
Hold on. Go slow. Chris Middleton gonna resign. Go ahead.
James Harden, Kyrie Irving.
Gonna resign. Well, we don't know. We
I don't know. I don't know about Philly, but Kristaps Porzingis,
he
Kevin
his
Love,
money. I promise you,
D'Angelo Russell, Al Horford, Vucevic, Draymond Green, Fred VanVleet, Harrison Barnes.
Wait, Draymond Green's probably going to move? You don't think he's going to move?
Here's my thing. Which one of those guys going to make a difference for the Lakers and take $25 million? Because that's all they're going to have. This is what you got to put context to it. They're open, and they may not. Most of these, Fred VanVleet going to resign. Watch. But only guy
even if they don't have them, there's still a plethora of guys: Karis LeVert, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Miles Turner, Gary Trent Jr., Malik Beasley, Will Barton, Christian Wood, Brooke Lopez, Patrick Beverly. Oh no, Patrick Beverly's on the team. Kelly Oubre, Dylan Brooks.
Which one of those guys you're naming? It's a plethora. Yes, it's always every year your contract up. You got a lot. You got
Seth Curry.
100 guys. Which one of those guys can come in at that $25 million slot and change the Lakers?
I think they could get a good amount of role players to be more beneficial to LeBron and Anthony Davis's game. Get some shooting. Yeah. I mean, you're not going to have to pay.
I'm trying to make it. We're doing hypotheticals. I'm trying to put true context. So you just read a list of great guys. Give me the names of those guys you see coming in taking $25 million or getting two of them guys for that $25 million you have. That's all you got. Who are those guys?
You could get let me see. You got a Dylan Brooks around here. You have a Seth Curry that doesn't get paid as much, who provides spacing. You could get a big man. You could get Miles Turner for cheaper because he's not really that much expensive anymore.
Miles Turner people already said we want $20 million. They've already said.
I don't think a lot of people are going to give him $20 million.
Yeah, but depending on how
they only have 3 guaranteed contracts for next season.
The way he playing right now, he gonna get $20 million. Watch, he gonna get it. He's being featured. He's been telling everybody the problem is you don't feature me. When the Pacers feature him, he putting up 25, 30. What he had the other day? 37 and 12. Didn't he have 37 and 12 the other game? Somebody gonna give him that bag. I'm telling you, bro. I done looked through this. There's not a guy that's can come in and change the fortune of the Lakers because he'll be replacing whatever Russ did because Russ is going to be gone. Now you'll have those picks, but what value are those?
You don't think LeBron James, in the way that he's able to move free agency, he's gonna be willing to be like, yo, guys, take some less money here and let's do this together. Let's win a chip. That's what LeBron James does. We all know this. We all know this.
Okay.
We all know this, man.
Okay. I don't see on that list of guys you named that's going to come there, even if you can get 2 of those guys. I don't see them moving the needle. And then here's the thing. Like, say you use an Oubre or a guy like that. I would say to the Lakers, why wouldn't you trade for those guys instead? Instead of signing them as free agents, why wouldn't you make a move to trade so you have their bird rights? And then you have the right, if they play well for you, to extend them past the tax line. See, if you bring in a free agent, I can't go over the tax line for you. But if I trade for you and I like what you're doing, then I resign you and I can resign you over the tax line. If I don't, you on an expiring contract, let him walk. It's business. It's simple. Bringing in these free agents, it's nothing. I'm telling you, and the league knows it. This is why they say no, but we're dealing with you.
We'll agree to disagree. All
right. Anyone else pushing any agendas today?
D. Mitch MVP.
You've been pushing that.
Who
one.
for MVP? Who?
Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, I heard that earlier. Somebody said that, I think yesterday.
My Cleveland Cavaliers
Yeah, I did.
take is looking
He don't play enough defense.
He plays good. He's been giving a lot
He's
of
doing
effort
better.
on defense.
I gotta give him credit. He is doing better this year. He is. Hey, he shot jacked them out that game the other day against the Clippers, though.
Yeah, I seen it.
He shot jacked them out that.
He did.
I think he's just in a mode where he gives them games.
That's what you want to do. That's what you want your stars to do, though. That's what you want your stars to do.
He's in an amazing system for him.
I like
amazing
the
system for him.
I'm scared of Cleveland. I'm scared of Cleveland. I like what they got. I do.
Yeah, I'm not scared of them, but my take's looking a little.
I'm sorry, I'm not supporting that agenda.
All right, let's get to these super chats.
I want an agenda I can support and put my money behind. Come on.
Big Meech said KD for Braun and add Dwight to the Nets all around. 100.
Braun can't be traded.
Speaking of Dwight, you guys saw that he's going to play in Taiwan, I believe.
Another petty guy.
Man, I feel like that is sad. That like this is where he might end his career. I feel like this is a guy who should definitely end his career in the NBA.
No, he's getting his money. He's getting his money.
I'm tired of Dwight.
He's coming back.
You think he's coming back?
Yeah, he can come back.
I'm tired of Dwight.
Alejandro Rodriguez, who would you add to the top 10 with only one ring?
Nobody. I'm not. You got one ring, you can't be in my top 10.
Gotta have multiple, huh?
All of my top 10 got multiple rings.
All right, Aaron, how's that list coming along?
I'm done. I'm ready.
All right, let's get it. Let's hear it.
All right, I'll go. Start with one, I guess. Yeah. MJ for sure. LeBron 2, Kareem 3. I flip-flop on this, but I'm going to go Duncan 4, Shaq 5. Shaq 5, Kobe 6, Magic 7, Bird 8, Steph 9. And then for 10, like, I don't know. I didn't really watch, like, I haven't seen much of Wilt or, like, Russell or Oscar, but I would put, like, probably Wilt at 10.
Word. You know? I love the honesty.
Yeah. I'm just, like, it's hard to go back and, I mean, not hard, but, like,
it's time consuming.
It's hard to go watch it because
it's hard to watch those guys. It's disgusting basketball. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. Euro, do you have any agendas that you're willing to push today?
Yeah, stop getting on my nerves.
That's not an agenda about basketball, man.
Wait,
that's what I got.
I feel like that's the first time that a guest has given their top 10 and nobody has any gripes about it.
I mean, I was going to ask about the Steph Curry thing because
there we go.
I feel like before this chip and this Finals MVP, nobody had him in the top 10. Or everybody, was like, yeah, you know what? He may be fringe top 10, but he's not top 10. And so now that he's gotten those accomplishments done and under his belt, everybody started to accept that. Let's just have the conversation about him being in the top 10. So to me, that just means that is he in the 10th spot? Yes or no? You have him 9th though.
Yeah, that's just
where did you have him before the chip and the Finals MVP? The most recent chip.
Honestly, I probably had him high. I still probably he just drives winning. Like they fucking win. Like he wins all the time. Like he even in those. I mean, even with with KD on the team. I know like plus minus isn't like a great stat, but always it was him was leading the team in plus minus. Even when KD was sitting. When Draymond was sitting, like even and when KD was on the floor, they were like even or even negative. So like I just think Steph drives winning. I had him pretty high anyway. Like I mean I don't know who's in like the problem is like the next 10 or a lot of people I feel like in the next 10 like don't have any rings anyway. Like I mean maybe Barkley or Malone or like there are people in that next
Hakeem.
10 that don't have rings. Hakeem
got 2.
Hakeem's the one
and a lot of people have him top 5
because he's a god.
Because he scores. He scores
and he defends. Let's not forget that.
No, I mean scoring
on the elite of the elites.
I guess
I have Hakeem top 5.
I wouldn't be unhappy putting him in there and dropping Steph down to 10.
Hey. Oh no, never mind.
It's nasty that no one ever puts Dirk at number 10.
Yo, you know what? You know what pisses me off?
I think Giannis is better than Dirk already.
All right. All
Hold
right,
up.
Aaron. Hey, thanks for coming on
Wait.
the show.
Dirk, I love Dirk. I was so happy that Dirk won in 2011. I love
Yo. Hold up. I gotta get this off because this is a perfect representation of what, like the damn video. This is a perfect representation of what winning bias and ring bias. Dirk Nowitzki is a perfect example. If he did not win that ring in 2011, you know what way they would be talking about Dirk Nowitzki? The same way they talk about Kevin fucking Durant. He don't do shit but score the fucking ball. If we're gonna be real with ourselves, we're gonna be 100% real with ourselves. That 2011 ring put on a status that everyone started overrating this dude, bro. If we're gonna be 100% honest, which is why I think winning bias is wrong. You should think of Dirk Nowitzki in the same manner in which you thought before and after that ring. I don't know why people switch up like that. It's the stupidest thing ever. It really is. I would never go that route to try to disrespect Dirk like that. But I know a lot of people use that 2011 ring in order to validate Dirk Nowitzki's career. My take
Where
is
do you have him?
my take is Dirk Nowitzki was already validated in his career. He didn't need that ring to revalidate his fucking career. Would I have Dirk? Power forwards. I got Tim. You got
All
KG,
time.
Giannis, Karl Malone. I think I might have Dirk right there, 5.
Okay.
With or without the ring.
And
Karl
then all
Malone's
time?
better, though. I haven't made a list that far down.
Damn.
Yeah, I haven't. He might be top 30 or top 35.
That's fire.
He might be. But
Is he behind Allen Iverson?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no chance.
Nah, 100%.
I just had to see where you were with Dirk. So
Yeah.
But you love AI, right?
Yeah, I think AI is one of the greatest basketball players we've ever seen in our life.
I think
I wasn't
Dirk's
alive.
one of the greatest basketball players we've ever seen in our life.
Yeah,
The
but
GOAT.
Allen Iverson's better. I'm sorry. Dirk's great. He's a generational guy. He's one of the first stretch bigs to really like influence the game. But yeah, I was just better, bro. Sorry.
Bro, the reason that
Take
that
the L,
ring,
loser. Take that, loser.
bro, we've talked about this before. The reason that that ring carries so much weight is look at everything that went into that. That Dirk played for 19, 20 years on the Mavs, never really had a team where you're looking at the Mavericks and you're like, this is really a solid contending team. And then they go on that playoff run in 2011 and they beat LeBron James in the Heatles to win his first ring after everything that he's gone through. I mean, the storyline alone is incredible.
Nick
that
Foles,
ring carries so much weight.
Nick Foles had a tremendous story in 2017. We don't overrate him and his career and who he is. It is what it is, bro. Let me ask you this, because I seen somebody chat, and I wish Elder was here so I could ask him this here. But I guess
he's having technical difficulty. No, he's having technical difficulty.
Lucky,
trying to pop
Lucky, whichever name you fucking go by, you don't have any fucking vowels in there. He said, "What is the point in being a great player if you don't win? In most players' eyes, that is the goal. If you achieve that goal, it means something." Let me ask everybody on the panel this, and everybody who's watching this: do we all agree that it's extremely difficult to win a championship? And it's something that boils down to your health, to your coaching, and something that could boil down to the role players in which surround your team. It's more than just the stars on your team. Do we all agree on that?
Of course.
Yes.
So if we all agree on that, why are we going to overrate or penalize guys for not winning if we all understand and acknowledge that it is a team sport and extremely difficult to win an NBA title? Something that boils down to a lot of things that are outside of the main player's control, such as health, such as coaching. With who?
With KD.
What do you mean?
You saying he ain't done shit unless it was with Curry?
Yeah, I hate the. No. I say that with Steph Curry. Steph Curry.
He says that about Steph.
I don't like Steph Curry.
Oh, okay.
But that's a personal bias.
But he's
a
hater. He's a hater.
I've opened. That's a personal bias, though, Euro. Like, I don't really hold that against him all the time. I just bring that up just because I don't like the fuck.
Okay, well, people just express
their
personal bias then.
Loser. You're losing.
So people just have a bias for everyone.
I can at least acknowledge my personal bias. At least I do it. I don't sit here and try.
Who's to say that they don't acknowledge theirs?
Who?
Whoever you're talking about, whoever you're addressing right now.
I'm just addressing the guys that using winning biases in order to negate to validate people or devaluate people, I think it's just a wrong thing to do. I think it's a terrible thing to do. I think you shouldn't even do that. If you're gonna do it because you hate a guy and you just want to discredit him. I'm fine with that. At least openly admit that you're a hater. I hate Steph Curry. So if you hear my take about Steph Curry, everybody knows. Everybody knows where it's coming from. So it's like, fuck it. It is what it is. But when I rank him all time, I really don't hold that against him. I can't. How can I? I don't give a fuck. I hate
I also
dude.
think the Mavericks had many chances to win titles before 2011. So I think they had a very good team throughout the 2000s. They just never won. Like 2003, if Dirk doesn't get hurt, some people would say they
I would
beat
say
the Spurs.
team-wise, they were always pretty decent. They were never like a bottom of the barrel team, but I never was going into a season like, oh man, this is our. I mean, every year I would say this is our year because I'm a Mavericks fan, but like there was never really that confidence level when you're stacking them up against the competition and trying to be realistic about it. Of can these guys really make it to the finals and win that thing?
Yeah, they probably weren't prohibitive favorites, but they were definitely like
Capable.
from 2003 onwards. I'd say damn near every year they were like contenders up until like 08 maybe, and then 08 to like 2010 was a bit rough.
So
but
you were looking at
happened.
when Kobe was in the league, you're looking at years where you thought that the Mavs could beat the Lakers.
I mean, you got 2003, the Spurs beat the Lakers, and then the Mavericks.
Spurs are significantly better than the Mavs.
No, that Spurs team definitely wasn't prohibitively better than the Mavs. A, because it was Duncan pretty much on his own, and B, because the Mavericks were playing very well until Dirk got hurt, and then he missed the rest of the series, and they lost in 6. They definitely could have gone to the finals, and if I think they can beat the New Jersey Nets, yes, I think they could have beat the New Jersey Nets. So in 03, I think they could have won. Then you got 04, they lost, I think, to the Kings. Sure, they couldn't have won, sure. 2005, they lost to Nash's Suns. Nash's Suns were a very good team, another championship contender. It wasn't a blowout series, so I'm also going to say they were contenders that year. 06, they lost to the Miami Heat in the finals. I think everyone believed that the Mavericks were a better team. They lost. So once again, championship contenders. 2007, they were the 1 seed and lost to the Golden State Warriors. Once again, they were contenders. They could have won. And then after that, they kind of like fell off a little bit. But that's when Dirk, in my opinion, elevated his game. I think 08 to 2011 is Dirk's peak. The team just wasn't that great. And then they won in 2011, and all of a sudden, everyone just forgot about how Dirk was a playoff choker, and all of a sudden he's a playoff overperformer. He's a legendary playoff player, when the whole narrative was he was a choker. But he wins 1 ring, and now all of a sudden he's this new guy. It's just weird.
Nasty out of you, Mars.
And to address,
I mean, I'm just saying the Mavericks had plenty of chances to win titles. They didn't win. I'm not saying it's Dirk's fault, because I still think Dirk is one of the best players ever. It's just, I think it's weird that 2011 wasn't the only shot he had. He was considered a choker. He wins 1 ring, and now everyone holds him as a playoff performer. It's like,
and that's all we're arguing.
Series change your mind.
We're not arguing it's right to do so. What we're arguing is the change of the narrative so drastically just because of one just because of one instant. And I don't agree with that way of thinking. I think it's a terrible way to think. And to address Matthew Sosa, yeah, when I'm in my Steph Curry bag, don't fucking listen to me sometimes. I'm so serious.
I was with you on Open Gym, just hating Steph Curry.
Yeah. Yo, Mars, you was spitting, bro. And coming from a Warriors fan, like, I'm a Heat fan. You was you a Rocket fan now. Yeah. Nah, bro, I'm just glad you exposed the truth about your own team, bro. I really thank you for that.
Oh my God. Destin Thorne said Dirk needed the ring because he used to be a playoffs choker. The ring showed he could produce when it matters the most. Giovanni BN, what's up, y'all? Who has the best highlights? I got PG.
Kobe.
Like currently or like this year?
Bro, I mean, depend. Like what kind of highlights do you like? Because like I'm looking at Vince Carter. I agree.
Kobe, no, but he said
Allen
PG,
Iverson.
so I'm guessing that insinuates
maybe he just thinks
he said I got PG. I thought he meant Paul George.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best highlights. Yeah. I was going all time. I said Kobe. If we're going currently, Kyrie.
Okay, well then I'll go. It's a 3-way tie: Sean Kemp, Dominic Wilkins, Vince Carter.
Nice. Okay, so let's do this then. Let's do current players that are currently in the NBA, and then let's do all time. Then go ahead, Mars. You said Kobe,
Kyrie currently, Kobe all time.
Dub.
I got Luka right now. I love watching his fucking highlights, especially his passing highlights. All time, shit. All time, you gotta go with like oh man. I'll go with underrated one. I'll go with Baron Davis.
Nice, a little
Elite.
Baron Davis love. I love that. All right, we got Euros.
That was very elite, Dub.
That is very elite, bro.
Let's go,
Baron
Broski. Thank you.
Very
thank you.
elite. I'll fuck with that heavy.
I loved Baron Davis, bro.
All time. I mean, I said all time. It's a 3-way tie. Do you want one specific person?
Well, did you say for current? You said Ja.
For current, I said Ja. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All time, one specific person. Let's hear it.
I'm not mention any of the 3 that I did. I'm gonna just go
Davis.
with Michael. No, I'm just going with Michael Jordan because versatility.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Aaron.
Oh man, I would have gone. I think I would have gone Ja. Just his dunks are sick right now.
Electric.
Yeah. I mean, all time probably Vince, but like sneaky Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Very,
that's true.
Very sneaky.
Yeah.
Just because the memes
my problem with him though, it was when you look at the longevity of him producing posters.
But there was
and
like
stuff,
2 years.
2 or 3 years, he was going crazy.
Wow.
Maybe longer. I'll give him longer. Let's say like 5. But yeah, man, that Lob City era was crazy.
So all time we'll go Dirk. Currently we'll go Luka. I'm kidding. I think I would agree. All time for me is Vince Carter. Vince was at one point my favorite player to watch, and I wanted to emulate him every day on my Nerf hoop and then my outside hoop that I would lower to like 7.5, 8 feet and just be Vince Carter all day. So Vince, and then I have to go Ja. Ja is just like one of the most exciting players to ever play, and he is a walking highlight reel. Every single game he has a play that gets you up on your feet. So yeah, I like those two. I'm trying to think of like an underrated one. Like I like Dubs, Baron Davis.
You can't beat me. Get the fuck out of here, Jay. You're still on the L list.
I'm trying to
still on the L list.
I mean, J.R. Smith highlights are elite.
J.R. Smith is fire. J.R. Smith is fire.
Somebody in the chat said Steve Francis.
Nice.
Steve Francis. As a Rockets fan, I hate Steve Francis.
Stephon Marbury.
I'll take Allen Iverson over him.
I would take him over him too. I'm just saying, like,
shit,
underrated.
you can even put Magic in the mix.
Hold up. Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson's nice. Someone
because he has a lot of ankle breakers.
I want to tap into,
but not more than like 10.
Those are ankle breakers elite, though.
Yo, for sure. But what I'm saying is, the one against Paul Pierce was filthy, bro. But what I'm saying, though, it's like, okay, now you have 10 ankle breakers to watch as opposed to Vince Carter.
Okay, yeah.
Here's what the chat's saying. I like
yeah.
these too. Jason Richardson was nice. Maul, of course, Jamal Crawford. Darren Williams, Jay Kidd, LeBron.
Andrew Bogut.
That's what I'm saying, LeBron. LeBron highlights are trash.
D Rose. Tim Hardaway.
No, you can't believe that. You don't believe that.
I hate watching LeBron. Well, I don't watch.
I like watching the dunks. I love watching the dunks.
Dunks are crazy. He jumped.
His bag is disgusting.
That's cool.
His bag is disgusting, bro.
You watch LeBron highlights and you find that dumb behind the back that went through Tristan Thompson's legs. I'm like, I don't want to see.
He didn't mean for that. He did not mean for that. Like, that's so bad, bro. That's the capologist, man.
I hate.
He ain't mean for that shit. I bet he was in the locker room. Yeah, the way his leg is positioned. I knew that was going to happen.
Our Crump said Andre Kirilenko on both sides of the floor, too. Both offense and defensive highlights.
Defensive highlights. Draymond Green.
I like watching defensive highlights. I
like watching like the chase down blocks. That's cool.
Yeah, but that's a highlight. Same thing as
look at how Bruce Bowen locked up now. Okay.
No, that doesn't go on a highlight. But Andre
that.
Kirilenko has plenty of like blocks that would
stop.
Come on.
He's not
Andre Kirilenko, bro.
Come on, bro. Do you guys know who Andre Kirilenko is? Andre Kirilenko was
Andre Kirilenko was nice. He's not highlights.
Bozo.
No, bro.
Bozo.
I know he's not a
host in the chat.
I would never put him up there. Like if we're going tiers, he's probably like D.
Someone said James Wiseman.
James says Stromae Swift.
Yeah.
That's a fact, but sample size is too
is ridiculous. Alejandro Rodriguez with the super chat. Name your top 10 all time with no rings, bro. That I feel like we'd have to sit down and really.
Jesus Christ.
Really think
I
about
know
that.
CP3, Allen Iverson, Karl Malone is like top 3.
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley.
Charles Barkley. Yeah, we gotta do
Right.
this one together. This is tough.
Yeah, for sure.
Carmelo.
Reggie Miller needs to be in there, yes or no?
Oh, gotta
top
be
10?
right.
I think he might.
Allen Iverson.
No
did we
rings?
mention him?
You think
Oh, what's his name? Chris
Reggie
Paul.
Miller's better than like Damian Lillard?
Chris Paul's got to be number one.
got-
Right?
James,
we got-
James Harden. James Harden.
We got Chris
James
Paul,
Harden.
James Harden, Allen Iverson, Karl Malone. Who
Is
else? Who
Russell
else?
Westbrook not top
But
10?
wait. Let's not do
Russell
active players
Oh.
because they still might win it.
Come on,
Yeah.
man.
But,
That's
I
what makes
mean-
it
See, I
fun.
wanted to.
All right,
Russ
cool,
is
I'm
up
with it.
there. Russ is up there. I'm not gonna hold you. Russ is up there.
Income
Cool.
said T-Mac. That's a fact.
Yeah, team. I'm not saying Luka. Luka's like
Carmelo?
Carmelo. I want to
There's
hear some more
there's
names, but
there's
Carmelo,
names I can
maybe.
get to before-
I
Are
like
y'all
Carmelo.
fucking shitting
No,
me, bro?
Carmelo needs to be
Come
in
on,
there.
top
Nah,
10.
there's names
Stop.
I can get to before Carmelo. There has to be.
Yeah, no question. But I feel like, man, he's on the top 10 all-time scoring list. Like he deserves some.
Yeah,
love
he
in this
deserves
category.
that. Top 10 all-time scoring list. That's what he deserves.
I mean, I agree with that, but well, you going Patrick Ewing?
Someone said KD doesn't have rings, so he should be.
That's hilarious. Patrick Ewing, though, you guys going? I think Patrick Ewing deserves to be up there too.
Yeah.
Steve,
I mean,
I would like
how
Steve Nash is in there for me, but I'm like the only Steve Nash fan. So
how many
No, I
is
love
that?
Steve Nash.
That's more than 10.
Yeah.
Way more than 10.
no, that's 9. John Stockton right there would be.
no.
Okay, I'll put it back.
No.
I'm sorry.
Wait,
I'm sorry.
did you have Barkley in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People saying Dominique. I
Dominique.
think we could find
He
somebody
didn't win a
better,
ring?
though.
I didn't
No.
know that.
No, he didn't.
No,
I
I
think
would-
we could find somebody better than Dominique, though. Can we?
I don't
Melo.
know. I don't know.
Oh, Jokic.
Jokic is better than.
Alejandro followed up with his super chat, said next panel should be everyone's top 10 with no rings. I actually just messaged Ron. I told him to try and get that into a topic for the panel, next panel.
Yeah, that's
No,
fine.
Natty,
See if
you
we can make that.
casual. David Robinson has a ring. You casual.
He has 2. 99 and 03.
Yep.
Ooh, who's a casual now, Dub?
Shane.
Someone
Larkin?
told me not to sleep on John Stockton. I'm snoring. I'm in a coma.
Yo,
I'm waking
Mars
up.
is getting in his bag at the end of the show. Okay.
John Stockton's mid.
That is crazy.
Yeah, the truth comes out. Maybe if you wasn't such an L host, maybe he would come out even more, Jay. Do a better job, man. Understand your personnel. Ridiculous.
All right, Dub. Do
Did
you
we
have
say
any
Allen
final
Iverson?
words?
Yeah.
Oh,
Of
okay.
course, you know I was gonna say that. Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
You have any final words, Dub?
L host.
Mars?
Euro.
Rockets in 6.
Until next time, Euro.
You did nothing today, bro.
Today
You
was
did
fun.
nothing.
I was on you and I let go because I didn't want you to get too upset. But next time I'm coming for you. Remember that. And it's not going to be easy for you. It's going to be real hard. Pause. Just remember that.
Euro, any final words?
Can we get somebody? Dub needs like a guardian that like shields him from all alcohol, man. I feel like this is getting out of hand at this point. You know what I mean? Like we can't just have him fucking drink and go crazy, man.
I've been good. I'm sober. This is sober Dub. Sober Dub's actually
well.
more
Maybe
fun than-
we need to have somebody to give you a bottle. Then Jesus Christ, you need some balance in your life. You all over the place.
You
That's
know,
what I'm saying.
I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those guys that really don't need to have a drink to, be fucking lit. I'm wild.
Let's see.
I'm
Let's see.
a crazy.
We know, Dub.
yeah.
We know. Yo, Aaron, thank you for joining us today. Any
Yeah,
final
thank you,
words?
gentlemen. I don't know. Mars is the GOAT. That's pretty easy.
Nah, Mars. I love Mars.
Wow, Dub.
Sorry.
Like Dub said, there's people who say they have your back, but then they switch up. Dub's one of
Sorry,
those people,
I
man.
apologize.
Crazy.
I
And
didn't-
you're supposed
I
to be in
didn't-
an allegiance with him too.
I didn't
Your
switch
man's
up all
got
the
a
way.
full.
Again,
Your
the
man got his
allegiance is
flowers, and
crazy.
you just like straight
My
up
bad.
trampled
I'm
him.
sorry.
That's crazy.
Mars, I apologize for the jealousy. That was jealousy and that was insecurity off of my part. And I apologize. I did not fully commit to that. I knew that in my ways immediately.
And then you cut off our guest, man, El Panelist.
El
El
Panelist for
Panelist.
sure. Go ahead, Aaron.
No, that's it. Yeah, this shit is. You guys are doing real good work. So
Let's
Oh, I
go, baby.
appreciate that.
Player's
Appreciate
choice
that.
on top, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. We will catch you on Sunday. Make sure you tap into Gridiron tonight, Fluent and Chill tomorrow, Open Gym on Friday. Bro, every day, just come on to Player's Choice YouTube. You'll find something that you like. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Peace out. Until next time.